Hiya, boys.
Hi, Frank.
You okay?
Hey, George.
I just brought you straight on, because it's very important, as you know, tomorrow, Sunday, and everything else. It's and with these injuries, which we'll be talking about, unfortunately, I don't like talking about injuries, especially to players that are pivotal to what we're doing now. That's why we're there, if you know what I mean. And I'll be getting your opinions on them. And let's go straight to poor Darrell, he can't come on because he's got a stinking cold, very wheezy, so just chat tonight, boys. That's what he says. And Ian McHale says, evening, chaps, we have all passed the LFC fitness test. And we be interested to see what the starting lineup tomorrow, praying for no more injuries and 3 points. And we'll be talking about that. I always lose this bloody thing, this little dot. Where is it? I don't know where it is. Excuse me. I'm sorry there, but where the bloody hell is it? I don't know where it is. Can anyone say anything? Can help me?
I can't see nothing, Frank. I can hear you, but I can't see nothing.
I can't even put I can't put the bloody comments up because I can't find this little. Let's see if it's over there. Yeah, it's over there. It's over here. Right. Darrell says, love to you, Frankie, an amazing guest. Thank you.
Hi, Darrell. Sorry you're not well.
And Tony LFC. Hello, Frankie, George, and Lee, and pints and thumbs up for us all. Wait till you see the next one. Hang on. Evening all. Look at all them pints. Great to see you, says the Anfield Raw. Paul Turner. Evening, Frank, Lee, and George. JK. Hope you're all okay.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Good. Brilliant.
All good, man.
Well, thanks.
And Tony LFC. And look at that. Oh, and JJ. JJ. He says that on the pint for you. Midnight Soaker, there's John. Greetings. And Tony LFC. Hello, JK. Oh, that's nice. On the pint for you as well, JK.
Cheers, bro.
And I'm feeling raw. Des Lynham and technology. Oh, thanks very much. And Darrell Murray, thank you, lost boy.
He started something there, Frank. I've never thought that. The old Des thing, I've never thought.
That was the reason why I ended up talking to Frank. I said he just reminds me of Des Lynham, and I like Des Lynham. I was
never once I thought that. Yeah, sorry.
But you know what? Honestly, this is true. Jared, it's not half like him. We used to call him Des. Jared, because they used to call him Des Lynham. He's not half like him. Honestly, with the grey hair and a little muzzy and that. But anyway, I'm going to go straight to you, JK, for being cheeky. Right? For being cheeky. Out of all the lads that are injured, who are we going to miss much? And the same to you, George, and the same to you, Lee.
Okay. Evening, George. Evening, Lee and Frank. Hope you're okay?
Yeah,
all good.
Yeah, great.
I would say I think Alisson. I think when he's in goals, I got no worries. When Keller is in goal, I got a little inkling of worries, but I think Alisson out of the lot of them.
Okay. What about you, George?
Well, it's very difficult because we don't know exactly who's not going to be playing. I know definitely Jota's not going to be there. Not sure about Nunes. Not sure about Salah. The weekend, against Chelsea.
Yeah,
tomorrow we're going to miss Jota, I think, definitely, without a doubt. He's been a bit of a talisman. We're going to miss Nunes if he's not playing because he's been outstanding. When we're going to miss all of them, Frank, to be perfectly honest, and Curtis. A bit of a disaster, really. I was absolutely gutted to see that the other day when I seen Curtis go down. I thought, oh no, and then Jota, God. And now Salah's got a little bit of rest needed, and Nunes limped off at half time. So, bit of a disaster, but I'm sure we'll overcome it. You've done it before. I'm sure that we'll overcome it. But yeah, I think we'd miss Jota, really.
Okay. What about you, Lee?
Jota for me, because
Yeah.
it's not just the goals. He's just such a menace. He gets pens. He creates space. He's just such a menace, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he is a big percentage of our goal threat, of our finishing threat. So that's taking something off us there. That's going to hurt us. Have they said how long Curtis is out? How long, roughly?
A few weeks.
A few weeks. That's all we need. It seems we're getting a couple of players back, and then we lose a couple of other ones. That we're not gaining in terms of squad numbers. We're getting someone back, and then we're losing someone.
Yeah. Well, I got news about Nunes, and all it is fatigue,
Right.
and a little bit of cramp.
Right. Good.
It's like that whether he plays tomorrow, but he'll definitely be playing in the final on Sunday. So that's good news. One way.
Even if he's on the bench tomorrow, it'll be good.
Yeah. I think that might happen. I think that might happen. Rather than just like start him, if you know what I mean. And if anything's going a little bit dodgy, I think they'll throw him. I think.
Yeah.
But we'll be talking about the team selection for tomorrow. And who you'd like to see rested as well, George and Lee and JK, if you know what I mean. Let's just see.
I was just watching Darwin at the end of the first half against Brentford, and he was running around quite a lot, and then the whistle blew for half time. So there was nothing there at that time because he was lively right till the end of the half. So maybe, if he's on the bench tomorrow, at least we've got something there,
Yeah. I'll just say that. I'll just go through some of these. Gary Rigby, evening goal. You'll never walk alone.
Yeah,
Hi, Gary.
Tony LFC says, "Come on, lads, hit the likes." That's nice. Thank you, Tony.
Come on.
Daryl says 3 points tomorrow is a must. Whatever a tight win, just win.
Yeah.
Daryl Merry says Jones will be the man he'll miss most, and Salah will play tomorrow. Besides all the BS rumours, yes. Paul Turner, why is our game being rearranged for tomorrow, but Chelsea doesn't? Seems unfair, and it gives them an advantage for the cup final.
I think we chose it, Frank. I think we were given 2 options. I think we chose this option to play that tomorrow.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, okay. Anfield Ross says Jota news is a blow. Maybe that Norgard at Brentford might take out Ireland and Foden.
Maybe if you can catch him.
Yeah, try and catch him. Yeah, and no one rested tomorrow. Way more important than Sunday, says Daryl Merry. So I'll go to you, George. I'll go to you. Without picking teams or without anything, who would you like to see? I know that we've got injuries. I do know that. But who would you like to have seen, put it that way, rested against Luton for the final?
Well, when anybody rested against Luton, to be honest, we've already got about half a team out, star players.
Yeah.
And we can't afford to rest anybody, I don't think. We're chasing the championship, league championship. And we can't afford. And Luton are a good side. I thought they hammered the other day. We're very unlucky not to beat them. So we can't take this game lightly tomorrow. I don't think we should rest anybody, Frank. Just my opinion. Because, if you go through the team, Robbo's been out a long time. He's just come back. So he needs games. Young Connor has a couple of weeks off. He needs games. In midfield only, McAllister's playing great, Obviously, Gravenberch will come in probably if Soboslai is not fit. I'm not going to mention the team, like you say, but most of them, I think, need to play if they're fit. Even Harvey Elliott will probably be on tomorrow because, they're getting a little bit near the bones now.
Yeah. Well, as John says, Midnight Toker, Klopp hasn't got many options, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
And he hasn't got many options. What about you, Lee?
No, we haven't got many options at the moment. The thing is, though, we've got a choice of Gomez and Bradley at right back. We've got a choice of Tsimikas and Robbo at left back. Now, I don't mean it's a 50-50 choice. I just mean we've got options there. And so I think Tsimikas could actually play further forward if we were desperate, with Robbo and him ahead of him, like if we were desperate for another midfielder. But I don't think it'll come to that. It just looks like that at the moment. But then we've got. I thought Gravenberch's done well in the Brent. We all said that, didn't we? It was a good cameo, that he did what he needed to do rather than trying to stand out too much. He just got hold of the ball, gave it simply, and it looked better, didn't it? It looked better from him.
Yeah, and he started the assist, didn't he? McAllister's goal, by passing the ball the way he turned and passed the ball to Mo, and Mo with that incredible pass.
And Diaz won it. He set Diaz up at Arsenal, didn't he, as well? With that ball.
Yeah. Coming on now.
Quite tight quarters, wasn't he, George? And managed to get the ball out.
Yeah. Well, Darren says this is the time for Gravenberch and Gakpo to step up for us, and I think he's so right.
So right there.
Right. Anyway, Gary Rigby, it's so long since I've been to a match. I feel like I'll still be singing E.I.Edzo with a rosette and a rattle. E.I.Edzo.
We won the cup.
That was mad, that wasn't it? I can see Gomez right back and Bradley in the pivot tomorrow. What do you think about that, JK?
Thing is, Gomez is getting a rest tomorrow, I think, because like Bradley on the right, Robertson left. Gomez could drop in midfield tomorrow, if need be. I think if he has to come on a sub, just drop him midfield, running around. I think Luton is like an FA Cup tie tomorrow. And I've already got a team in my head with the players available. I think everyone was like turned into Jurgen Klopp after the Brentford game, thinking who can we play, where can we play them? And I think everyone's got a team in their head with the players available. So also a few weeks ago, I was on about the Dutch guys, Gakpo and Gravenberch, that they are sort of valuable squad members. Happy to be on the bench. They don't really moan. And I said their time will come where we need these guys. And I think the Sunday game, when they both came on, I think that they sort of kept the game together for us. So this week is very important for them two guys to step up tomorrow and on Sunday, because they'll both be playing, I think. Yeah. So I hope, so
well,
hopefully they'll be up for the fight anyway.
Yeah. Well, in his press conference today, he mentioned the younger lads, and one lad he did mention, and that was Kumas. Kumas. He said they're all great younger lads. So I think he was throwing a hint, I really do, that he'd be playing some young lads tomorrow night. I really do. And I know what you said, George, about, this is a very important game and Luton are no mugs. But we're there, we're top of the league, and we've got to keep that momentum going, no matter about the injuries. No matter about the injuries. I'll go to these, just bear me out on this. Arthur Schofield says, even in Frank and Guy's injury is unfortunate, but don't give up. We still have great backup to get us a win.
Yeah.
And Ian McHale says, and these are the lads that he's actually mentioned, got some great young lads as well, who, if called upon, won't let us down. The likes of Bobby Clark, James McConnell, Cade Gordon, Lewis Kumas, and Jaden Dams. Now, he mentioned Kumas today.
Yeah.
Lee, what do you think of those lads that you've been up, haven't you? You've been missing again.
No, I was watching them before. Well, not McConnell, but I've seen Gordon, Kumas, and Dan's all in action earlier on LFC TV for the is it the under 20? Yeah, the under 21s it was, and they all look good. Kumas scored a good one. They all played well. Gordon had a good free kick just inside the post. Keeper tipped it round. Dan's played well. I think it was Newcastle we played. So I had a good look at it, and just the highlights. I haven't got enough time to watch the full game nowadays. No. Too old now, George.
I think Klopp trusts them all. I think Klopp trusts all those lads. I think he's got a lot of trust in them. O'Connell came on a few weeks ago. He played great.
He's been great.
I think Klopp didn't have any hesitation at all in throwing him in.
I was going to ask you, George, have you seen that young Kumas, by the way?
Yeah, I've seen him, yeah.
I think he's great.
He's a super player,
Yeah, he looks... And this is, again, we've mentioned Dunk in the past, and he's nowhere to be seen. He's still injured.
Yeah.
It must have been a very bad injury that he suffered, like Betetic.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him since last season. Think about that.
Duke did have a bad injury. I mean, he's had a bad injury, so he's going to be out for quite a while.
It was as well, Frank, that McConnell and Bradley, no one was talking about them. They've just come in, got on with it. Doak, they've been talking about this guy for a long time. Same as that Polish lad, the youngster, who I've never seen in a Liverpool shirt. And I think football fans go over the top with the hype, Haven't they learned, why haven't England ever won a World Cup since '66? Because they've overhyped their players throughout their careers. And that's why you would never see me. I will say Connor at right back, I've been impressed with the lad, but I would never go over the top with him. I will say, you know what? He's come in, he's done a job, and he's had some bad news as well. But I respect what he's done for the club. And that's all you got to say. There's no pressure on the lad. If he plays tomorrow, which I think he will, I'm just happy to see what he can do, And that's how I see football. I think Gravenberch as well, he's had his doubters. But I said there's a player in him. And you'll see little bits and bobs from Gravenberch. I've seen it. And I said, yeah, there is a player in him. The thing is, we just need to see it consistently. But overhyping youngsters is not a good thing, I don't feel.
I think the youngsters, when they come in the team, it's always good if you get off to a good start, like Bradley has done. If you get in your debut, like Gerrard did when he came in as a young lad, if you get in your debut and start off like a house on fire, you've got a chance, because you get into the big time. You've been dreaming about it, and you get on that pitch in the big time. And if you perform, then as the game goes on and you get more games, you get more confidence, become part of the team, you get respect from their older players, and you build into the squad. And all these young lads have got a chance, but when they get that chance, they have to take it. A lot of them, you get a young lad comes in sometimes and he didn't quite make it, and he gets another chance, still doesn't quite, and he disappears. But these lads that Klopp's brought in, they've all done well so far.
Exactly. And the thing is, because we're playing at Anfield, it sort of helps the young guys, So,
at home. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Anfield Road, I think he's come up with a good comments here, to be honest, and it must be discussed. And I'll start with you, George. I'm concerned that our midfield is weakened without Jones. I wonder if Gravenberch can perform for 90 minutes. He improved a little, Gravenberch, but I'd like to see McConnell or Clark there. What do you think, George?
Yeah, I mean, Gravenberch, like as you said earlier on, he did okay the other day against Brentford. He looked more like a player, and he's had a very slow burning start with Liverpool, I think. But he's obviously got the quality, and he's been signed for a fair amount of money. He's a experienced player. He should be coming in. He should be stepping up now, along with Gakpo, like we said earlier. If young McConnell or Clark come on, I wouldn't have a problem, but I wouldn't start them. I'd start with Gravenberch because Szoboszlai is not fit yet, is he? If he's so you've limited choice in midfield there, but I would definitely start with Gravenberch, and then these young lads. one of them could come on, McConnell possibly. Seen more of him than I've seen of Clark, but Clark's obviously a good lad as well. So, yeah, it's great to see the young lads on the border, on the bench, waiting to come on. But I would have Gravenberch first because he's got the experience, and you need experience, really, I think.
Well, the thing is as well, George, I think you're spot on there. Remember when Bradley came in to take over Trent, he grabbed his chance.
Exactly.
It's so impressive. Remember Quansah when he came in and he grabbed his chance. So I think this is a great opportunity for him. I really think it's a great opportunity for Gravenberch to come on and say, well, this is what I can do, just like he did against Brentford, because he was good. And don't forget, as I mentioned, I think before, that he gave the pass to Mo to put onto the feet or the foot of McAllister, for the goal. So, he was getting stuck in. But he's a 6'4" lad. I think, he should be using his strength along with Gapco, by the way. Yeah. Gapco should be using his strength. And
what did Gravenberch didn't do on Brentford, Frank? What didn't happen for Gravenberch on Sunday against Brentford on Saturday? Sorry, he didn't fall over. And if you don't fall over in the first 5 minutes, you know he's going to be all right.
Keep on your feet.
Tomorrow.
I noticed Klopp, I don't know whether you've noticed there. When was it Jota or Jones? I forget who it was. When he went off, he had Gravenberch, and he must have said to him, "This is your opportunity. Get on there and show them what you can do, and show me what you can do." I'm sure he said that to him because he was determined, and he had a better game. Yeah. I think that was the best game he played for Liverpool, albeit that he came on for an injury, So, let's just hope tomorrow. And Anfield Road says about the time there. Now, I'm not going to go through it there, Daniel. I'm sorry, because we're not talking about teams yet. Neil Broderick, Mo looked like a teenager on Saturday. The young lad Bradley, top notch. Elliott gets stiff, but mark my words, he will now play an important role in the next few weeks.
I agree with that, Neil. Yeah, without a doubt.
And Darryl says, look, we don't want to know about the scores, Darryl.
I know.
Darryl, please stop coming on about the bloody scores, will you?
It means nothing.
But I don't want to know.
Oh, you've teased me there, Darryl. You've teased me there. I bet you think bloody well anyway, don't you?
Yeah, I say he's going off now. We're talking about the Reds. We're talking about an important game. Or George.
I'll tell you about Gravenberch, Frank. With Gravenberch, Shankly used to always say confidence is contagious. And if you have a good game and you show you can do, you're up for the next game. And you're right. Now, if somebody's had a word in his ear, look, come on, you've got to get stuck in, lad. You've got to show your quality. You've got to get on. You're a big part of this squad, a big part of this team. He needs to do it tomorrow. Tomorrow at home against Luton, a good team and a big game.
What's your take, JJ? What's your take?
Yeah, I think, did Klopp slap Gravenberch in the face? Them little... He like doing that.
Hope so.
Yeah, I think and he did it to Enzo, didn't he? He did it to Enzo as well.
I think that's the sign when the manager's sort of happy with you when Klopp does that. So
and that's a fact. He is. He's happy with what you've done, and he did do it to him. Funny enough.
How good is Endo? He's great, isn't he? I mean, he's got to watch the yellow cards. He gets a card a game.
I'm so made up he's back, George. So made up he's back.
Yeah. He really is.
Sorry, Frank.
No, go ahead. What was you saying?
I was going to ask you, who was defensive midfielder when you come to Anfield? Was it who used to play defensive midfield then in them days?
When I was there.
Yeah, who was centre midfield then in the 60s?
Well, Tommy Smith.
Go on, sorry, George.
Yeah, Tommy Smith was he played. Tommy started as a centre forward really, and then he got the number 10 on his back, which fooled a lot of people because he didn't play like number 10. He played like what they called right half, number 4 really. But he was a defensive everything. If it moved, he kicked it. But he had a brilliant touch on the ball. You know, he could pass the ball. He wasn't just a thug. Tommy was a fantastic footballer, but they were frightened of him because he didn't hold back. He was a defensive.
Was Willie Stevenson like?
Willie Stevenson was the footballer. Yeah. Willie Stevenson and Gordon Milne were the footballers.
Yes, they were the footballers.
And Tommy Smith was just the art. He was only 18 years of age, and he got stuck right in. There was no. I always remember a fella from Burnley. Oh, what was his name? And he was a right winger or a left winger.
I know you're talking about.
Oh, no, what's his name?
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Tommy used to frighten him to death.
Yeah, he was tall lad, big blonde lad, but he was a brilliant player. And I was sitting in what we call the Kenny Dalglish stand, like today. So I was sitting there like that, and this lad was going down the wing, and he was beating everyone. And Tommy Smith came over, and he went up in the air. The lad went up, and he came right down and bounced. He actually bounced. And then Tommy just it would have been sent off today. But he just ran away. And what was his name? It came to me then.
He'll come back to me as well, Frank. He'll come back to me.
It's shocking, isn't it, when you can't think of a name? But anyway, it's what he did, and that was it. And he never done any. I'm sure it began with a W.
When I played with Tommy, I had about 50 games with Tommy in the reserves in the second team. And he used to be my minder. He used to look after me. If anybody came near me, because I was quite tricky and quick, I'm not big. And if anybody lifted me, Tommy'd have a word, and I didn't get bothered too much after that.
Do you know what, though? He looked after Carlyle, didn't he?
He did. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He looked after Carlyle. That's who he looked after. Because I always remember Carlyle against Celtic. And that Archie, what was his name? The big left back.
Tommy Gemmell.
Tommy Gemmell. Yeah. That's him. And Kelly, he never kicked him there. He never meant to kick him. But Tommy just sat down and looked at him like that, and Kelly went, "Oh."
Yeah. Tommy said he was quarried. He wasn't born.
It was not funny.
He just looked scary, didn't he, Tommy? He really did look the part. If I was a winger or whatever, if I was in midfield or a centre forward and I played against Tommy and I'd heard about his reputation and then I looked at the man, I'd have been scared witless as a winger.
Yeah. Even when he was 15, Lee, he looked like a man then. He had a face like the map of the Andes. You know what I mean? He's really, really hard. He was like Charles Bronson.
Well, hang on. George, do you agree with Souness that midfielders should only pass forward? That's the Liverpool way. That's what Suey says anyway.
Well, ideally, but not always. Not always. You can't do that. You've got to keep possession. That's the main thing. And then when it's Thiago, when he was fit, when he first came to Anfield, he was good. And Coutinho was fantastic at pushing the ball forward.
Well, yeah. Well, Enzo pushes the ball forward.
Yes. Yeah.
And McAllister, if he's playing in his rightful position, he pushes the ball forward.
Yeah, that's how you score goals, isn't it? A creative pass in the middle.
Did you ever see young Bradley's shot? You see the build-up to that, and the ball comes to McAllister, and McAllister first touch right in the path of young Bradley, who went up and hit it, and it just went over, But that's the kinds of passing that McAllister is fantastic at. And when he went through in the box and scored that goal, absolutely, a brilliant goal, absolutely brilliant. Enzo needs to be our giant now, says Neil Broderick. Let me just go through some of these. Tadler says, sorry, I've upset everyone, guys. Oh, Darryl, behave yourself.
I haven't, bro.
What's he like? Put your dummy back in your mouth. TW says, I can remember when Ronnie Whelan became a superb defensive midfielder in his later years.
Yeah.
And he was so underrated. So I meant to mention, as when you mentioned Tommy Smith as well, George. Tommy Smith was underrated as a footballer.
So. Yeah.
He was so he's a great passer of a ball.
Yeah.
A great passer. And he always passed forward, by the way, when you think about it.
Yeah.
Always pass forward. Because he was a midfielder, wasn't he, then?
Yes.
He became the Anfield Iron.
Anfield Iron, long passes to the wing.
Yes. Gravenberg, only 22, played 4 games last season. He's one for further down the line, says Neil Broderick. And RJK here. Darryl, you've not upset no one, thank you. If you said City 1-0, yeah. And he's over there after him going and saying, evening, Darryl. Anyway, and Tony goes, Darryl, give us an update in 20. Behave yourself, you. Give us an update in 20 minutes. Right, so Neil says, you think of the amount of games Carlyle played, every pitch is against players like Hunter, never injured.
Absolutely.
That's the modern day football. The players
never
are too fit.
Never booked either.
Yeah.
What was you saying, JK?
I was just saying that the modern day footballers, they're too fit. I think they're not. Yeah, they're tough guys, but they're not like the old school tough guys where the pitches were heavy, they had a bit more weight behind them, and when they went into a tackle, the fans weren't worried what's going to happen after. I think nowadays, when a guy goes into a challenge, everyone's on edge. Like, how long is he going to be out for and stuff? And I think the modern day footballers need to put a bit of weight on. So when they'll be more protected in a challenge, for example. You know, I think it's logic that would say that. I think when you do not have enough fat or body weight protecting a muscle, you're going to end up getting injured more.
Yeah. They're very finely tuned, aren't they? Very finely tuned now. I mean, they're really, really finely tuned athletes. Didn't take much to pull a muscle.
It's like the old school cars, the old school cars that go through, they'll have a crash, and in a few days we'll be back on the road. Like these new cars, as soon as it touches anything, boom, the whole side's gone. And it's like the footballers as well, And it costs more as well, these new cars, than the old ones, Same as the footballers.
Well, I was watching the highlights of the Brentford game, and remember when Enzo and that big lads, they ran into one another. Do you remember that? And both of them went down.
Oh,
well, I watched that again and replayed it, and that big lad deliberately ran into Enzo, and he went in with his shoulder. Watch it again, and he deliberately went in. And he went down, but Enzo just got up. He just got up, like Tommy Smith.
Yeah, brilliant.
Got up and just carried on. So that's the type of player. I'm not saying Enzo's a hard man, but he is in his own way.
Injured.
Yeah.
I was a bit embarrassed disappointed actually with the Brentford sort of tactics. A bit dirty, I would say. Look at our players. We've got 3-4 guys who got a bit hurt and stuff. So I think their tactics was I was a bit surprised by Frank, by him doing that they were just playing dirty tactics,
Yes. So, that was the only way to beat Liverpool. And they know this. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They know this, by the way. Yeah. Because he went, I don't want that Frank as our manager. Fancy it. And I don't like people there chewing chewy either. And he's just chewing his chewy and pulling them stupid faces that he's got. You know what I mean?
He's doing all right for Brentford, but I nearly wet myself laughing when people were mentioning his name as a possible manager. For us, it was like, what, for the first team?
I think Frank would be the The guy who typed in the Man City score in the chat, type of guy. He would have known Frank. He'd be like, oh, I don't want him as manager.
No chance. George, that comment there. We must play our strongest team, says TW. Available tomorrow.
We've got to win every game. We've got to win every game. That's it. That's what's asked of us now. No good having a draw or a defeat. We've got to win. If we want to win the league, we've got to win every game, including the one against City. I hope the boys are all back for that, apart from Jota.
Yeah. I think they are, you know. Because I know the other fella, Slobozlai, it's a bit too early now for him for the cup final. But I think he's in like training.
As long as Nunez and Salah are fit, I mean, you've got Nunez, Salah, and Diaz. That'll do me up front.
That'll do me as well. You know, we're forgetting that really. But what you've got also up front, you know, if one of them, you know, he needs substituted, by the way. Gakpo can come on.
Yeah, got two.
Can come on. I tell you, who've been getting a lot of stick on some podcasts, and I thought, what games have these fellas been looking at? And I'll tell you who it is, and I'll go straight to you, JK. Go straight to you. But let me just let me get this first. Bonkers. I'll go straight to you, George. Then I'm right up to JK about what I want to ask him. Whelan was one of my favourite players back in the 80s and 90s, etc. with Barnes, Rush, and McManaman. Yeah. Now look at that team. You know, it's incredible. Yeah. McManaman was superb. Rush, Barnes.
Yeah.
You've got Beardsley as well there.
Yeah.
Unbelievable players. Absolutely unbelievable players.
When McManaman went on a run, he was hard to stop. He run past players, didn't he? Like brilliant balance. Whelan was brilliant because he made it look easy. He wasn't a complicated player. He just played the ball simple, and he could drift into the box and score. And Barnes was a genius, of course, you know, and Rush, well, you know, if Rush get the ball in the box, it was in the net. That was it. It was gone. Dalglish should put it through. Rushy'd run past his man, stick it in the corner. If a keeper came out, you go around him. If keeper stayed in, he slotted past him. Phenomenal.
Well, I'm going to ask JK here. I've been looking at this goal for Yonks, you know, really, just looking at it. And the build up and everything else. And I think up to now, that the Nunez goal, he scored some good goals. Even with the brace against Newcastle, they were great goals then. And the header the other week was at West Ham or Burnley, I forget who it was.
Yes, I kept in the back of his head.
Yeah, incredible. But that goal against Brentford, in my opinion, is goal of the season. I'll tell you for why. You have a look at that again and how it came about. There's their big, I don't know who he was, big centre half or a big centre forward. I don't know who he was, you know, the Brentford player. And as the ball was flighted into the Liverpool area, Van Dijk was getting mauled. He was getting dragged all over the place. And he, obviously, Big Veg, you know, composed himself and just hit the ball forward. Now, that ball, you look at Jota, and he's looking at that ball constantly. He's looking at it. You notice where Nunez was. Nunez was just outside the D of our
team. He was, yeah.
And he ran. He just ran forward. And that header was absolutely incredible. Incredible. Right in his path. Right in his path. It's like a weighted pass, you know, just a weighted pass with your foot. And it just went right in his path. Nunez went on. He completely fooled everybody. He can fool me. He can fool you. He fools you, George, and you, Lee, and you, JK. because I thought he was going to give it to Jota, to be honest, or try and go around the keeper, because the keeper was rooted. Not long.
I think those goals are the hardest goals to score because you got so much time to think about it. Because that lasted maybe about 3 or 4 seconds. He had that ball running towards the goal, and everybody's thinking, "What's he going to do?" What disappointed me a bit was Michael Owen. I don't know if you've seen Michael Owen's comments. He had a bit of a go at him about he shouldn't do that. I didn't understand what Michael was saying there because I thought he did it perfect. It was, you said, Frank, it was one of the best goals that we've seen this season. His timing, the way he chipped it.
Mm-hmm.
Keeper never even went down, did he? I mean, the keeper was up. Over his head.
He just didn't know what to do. He didn't know where it was going to go. He didn't know what Nunes was going to do. And I said this last week, if you remember. But, when Jota was playing, and I said, we've got the likes of Jota. We've got Mo to come back. We've got Diaz running into form. Now he's into form. And we've got Nunes. Fancy those, defences looking at those three running at you. And they all got speed.
Yes.
They've all got speed. Well, if Jota doesn't, if Nunes' goal is not goal of the season, the pass of the season is that header, no one will do that. That's a pass of the season of Jota.
Yeah, he's not a big lad, is he?
No. We have been blessed with great players over the years. Great days, says TW. And John says McManaman buggered off on a free when Poole was skint. Great player, though. But you can't ask that.
I like Steve as a bloke as well. Like, some people don't like his commentary or whatever, but I do like Steve as a bloke.
Yeah, a great player as well. He was.
Absolutely amazing. Him and Fowler, best of mates.
Great mates, yeah.
Best of mates. Brilliant player.
Scored all types of different goals, though. Mackie scored long shots, volleys, the odd header, very few headers, and a lot of them were dribbles. But the amount of volleys and long shots he scored as well. Remember that one at Arsenal?
Arsenal
for years, had we? And he just raked a volley in, like, from out on the wing.
Stevens didn't know where it was, did he?
And we haven't been there in so long.
He was one of the few players that did well when he left Liverpool, Frank, because he did okay at Real Madrid.
Yeah, he did brilliant, George.
He did brilliant at Real Madrid.
Well, he won 2 European Cups, He won 2 Champions Leagues with them.
Exactly.
That's what he won with them.
Not many done that. Him and Suarez, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look, John says the Midnight Talker. Ian Rush asked Bob to leave Liverpool before he come good. Ian Rush. Because I had a mate, right? But still is a mate. And we were going up the game. We were going to watch Fulham, right? So he was walking up. We used to walk up, because didn't live really far anyway. We used to walk up to the game. And my mate said to me, James Allen, he said to me, I don't like this new fella, I said, James, he said, that Ian Rush, I think he's awful. It's genuine. And he ended up scoring 4. And I said, what do you think of him? And he went, well, he's all right. That's when he first came to Liverpool.
Phenomenal.
But, he's all right. It's incredible. Nunes is going to be some player in the next couple of years. I love the way he plays now, but I know he will get better, says TW.
Yeah.
So what do you think? See, we've got Nunes. We've got him. When he first came, we were talking about his potential. And we were really having a go at his missed chances because they were sitters. You know that, George. I know that. You know that, CJK. You know that, Lee. And now it's like a jigsaw, isn't it, with him? Yeah. And he's just like just a little extra piece. And to me, he'll be the perfect player.
Yeah.
He'll be the perfect player, Nunes.
He's got
But
11 goals, 10 assists.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
But I think
absolutely.
Darwin Núñez showed me the way, in which way football is going in general. He just showed me how one player can divide a fan base. I remember the old days of supporting Liverpool. It didn't matter who Liverpool bought, even Charlie Adams, for example. You would support the guy. And I was seeing fans over say last year or so, just going against Darwin, this, that, and the other. And I'm thinking, what type of Liverpool fan are you? Are you a real Liverpool fan, or are you just one of them show business sort of Liverpool fans? And I'm thinking, Darwin Núñez has showed me what the fan base is going which direction. And I think him scoring goals now, is actually like two fingers at them guys. So I'm happy for him. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when we were talking about McManaman, Ian McHale says that goal against Celtic.
Yeah,
It went from our half right up.
Right
and if you ever remember, that was a carbon copy of what Jan Molby did against Man United.
Oh, yeah, the Milk Cup game.
Carbon copy. It was incredible. And, Stevie Mac, absolutely brilliant.
When Mac returned in that game versus Celtic, I mean, he was so far inside our own half. He was nearly just outside our own box, but like out wide. That's how far into our half he was before he set off. He was miles back when he set out against Celtic. It was deep. It was a run from really deep, like, wasn't it? Which he was great at.
But you know what? All them years I used to stick up for McManaman against like gigs. Like who's better? All Liverpool fans used to say, "Oh, McManaman," and maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. But I think his commentary on football games over the years has took his shine of him being a Liverpool player. He's took his shine away. I don't really like his commentary, and I'm thinking, look at all them years this guy's was sticking up for this guy, and he's like talking about Liverpool like the way he does. I'm like, no, something ain't right there.
It doesn't put me off a player. If an ex-player was good and then their commentary isn't very good, I don't turn that into a reason to go.
Just like them, yeah.
Yeah,
I would just say
not many good commentators now. Not many.
No, but what it is,
I just think not very good at talking. You know what I mean?
No. It's just like he knows how to talk and stuff. It's just the way he will comment about certain things about the Liverpool match. Like, for example, Saturday when Liverpool played Brentford, Jermaine Jenas and the other guy, it was like they were on the Brentford coaching team or something.
It's always the same. It's always the same.
McManaman does
I watch it with the mute button on. I don't listen to the commentary.
I can't do it. Yeah, same as George. Can't listen to him.
I watch it with the mute button, and then when we score a goal, I put the sound on to hear what they say. And then it goes back off again. Because in the old days, Frank, you used to have good commentators like Wolstenholme and David Coleman and Barry Davis and all those guys. But now, all they do is have a conversation. They have a conversation, and then they put some stats up. Liverpool last won 2 years ago, 5-0. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
I want to hear a commentary on the game, And then you get somebody else coming in with some smart comment, and I just sort of put it on mute.
Yep.
No, you're right.
They shouldn't be biased.
Yeah, well, but you've got to understand as well, if you become a punter, you've got to show unbiasedness. But there's one fella there who is a punter, and he doesn't show unbiasedness. He just says it as it is. And I don't like him, and that's that Roy Keane.
Yeah.
Roy Keane.
He's a nasty piece of work, really, isn't he?
Oh, he's great. But
he broke a guy's leg once, and he bent down and said something. He was lying on the ground. I mean,
horrible. Yeah.
Was that Haaland? He done that too.
That's it.
Yeah.
It was a Swedish lad, wasn't he? That was horrible. That was horrible. I still can't think of that fella's name, that Burnley player.
I might have to get my phone out, Frank, and have a look on the internet.
Oh, blimey, it's shocking. He will get it before the end.
I can picture him. He wasn't a bad player.
Was it Whittle? Oh no, he played for Everton,
No.
didn't he?
Yeah.
You said begin with W or Whittle?
Sure,
Webb,
he began with a
Alan,
W.
that was Alan Whittle.
Whittle,
no.
Webb, Watt, Williamson, Wiley. I don't know.
No, this lad played for Burnley.
Burnley, yeah. I was thinking W. That
Left winger.
Well, it
Left
might
winger.
be a W, I don't know. But anyway, might have been Wally someone.
It rang a bell when you said it. I could see it in my mind's eye, but I probably thought of the wrong bloody player, mate.
But anyway, Anfield Road. Got no worries with Nunes. I don't know if anyone else agrees, but I really would like a quicker wideman. A lot of people didn't like Luis Garcia, but I thought he was a great pain for the opponents. What's your take on that, George, about Louis?
I thought he was really good. I remember going to Old Trafford and watching him. I think it might have been a semi-final of the Cup or so. He scored a belting goal from about 30 yards, right over the top of the keeper into the net, just on the volley. And I thought he was a good little player, Garcia. You know, and it was a lovely song we had for him as well, Luis Garcia drinks sangria. And it was brilliant. And of course, the game against Chelsea, when the ghost goal, the Marino said wasn't over the line. You know, that was brilliant.
Do you think that was over the line, though, George?
You'll never know, do you? It's like the World Cup, you know, in the '66 World Cup. You know, we didn't have the technology, so it's just one man's decision. It would have been a penalty, Frank, anyway.
I know, and he would have been sent off, Peter Cech. And this is what we forget. That would have been a penalty. The goalkeeper would have been sent off. He would have been down to a new goalkeeper and down to 10 men. And this is what we forget, these people.
Yeah, their fan base forgets that. They go, whoa, no. I reckon it was over the line anyway, like myself. To me, looking at it from the shot we seen, although we didn't see it from behind the goal, it looked like it was just over. And like you said, even if it wins, it was a penalty and they had 10 men. So the ref had to decide, shall they give a goal or shall I send Cech off and give Liverpool a penalty? I know, I'll let Chelsea keep 11 men and just be 1-0 down with 11 men.
Well, where I was in the cup. I was high up in the cup, near the back. Anyway, we were all saying around, that was well in, wasn't it? Yeah, it was well in. We never had a clue.
And they missed a sitter. They missed a sitter just after that.
Yeah, he did. That Good Johnson, he missed a sitter.
That's right, went across the 6-yard box. Just missed the post.
Oh, yes.
Fine margins.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Steve Hunter with John Aldridge are my favourite commentators. TW, unbelievable.
That Barcelona game, he was unbelievable, that commentary, the Barcelona game. Steve and John.
You know, like when it comes on the telly.
About 40 million views.
Yeah, I love Steve Hunter. Great commentator.
Passionate.
Very, very. You know, you can tell them that they're real Liverpool support, like us.
He's not unbiased.
Like us, you know. Just like us. Just proper supporters. And John says, the Spanish commentators used to be funny when Steve Mack scored. Mack, they went right along and they goal, you know.
Yeah, Brazilian commentators are great.
What are we talking about commentators for? Who brought this up? One player who I hated says Anfield Road was Harry Kewell. I couldn't get over Rafa. When we were there and, you know, listening to the team news coming along, you know, he's not playing Harry Kewell, is he? Because he was out for a while, wasn't he? He was out for a while. And we were even saying that this is AC Milan, you know, in the final, Istanbul. And yes, you know, he played. I don't know why he liked him, to be honest. And Ian McHale agreed TW. Steve Hunter is a great commentator on LFC TV. You can tell that he loves the club, top guy. Anfield Road. Was the Burnley player George Waterfield or Walter Weaver? No,
No.
Oh, and it came to me again. Steve.
Yeah, it was Steve. Yeah, that's right. It was Steve.
Oh, Steve.
It began with a P. Steve P.
Was it a P or a W? God, blimey. It'll come to us, Stuart.
Well, it'll come to us. Yeah, Steve. Oh, it's right in the tip of my tongue, man. Oh,
I know, it's terrible, isn't it?
Steve. He does after dinner speaking as well. He's a good after dinner speaker.
Is he? Yeah. I'm glad, I'm glad that.
Steve.
Jeez.
It's a W. It's a W. Steve's.
It is a W, isn't it?
Ask somebody to look it up. One of the lads.
It's K-Mac. Oh, K-Mac, I didn't know you were there, mate. He might know.
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
Hey, okay. I'm sorry there.
He's too young.
Yeah, no, he might. He knows all the stats going back to 1831. Anyway, K-Mac, we're talking about a player who played for Burnley. And this is in the Tommy Smith days. And he played on the wing. And I was just saying, I seen Tommy Smith because we were talking about Tommy Smith. And this lad was beating everyone, He came to me again. And his name was, he was outside right or outside left. And his name was Steve someone, a big, tall, blonde lad.
Yeah. He just after dinner. He left wing.
There he is. Got him. The lad.
Yeah, got him.
Steve Kindon.
That's him. Not W.K.
Yeah, well, we're dyslexic, you see.
Steve Kindon.
I don't know him. I have to say, I don't know that guy. I was thinking all sorts of names, but not him.
He was brilliant.
I was born in 77, not a chance.
Tell me.
Oh, we trying to guess, and
he tells some funny stories about Smithy.
Yeah, unbelievable. But he was a great player, by the way. He was a very, very good player.
He was quick, yeah.
I was asking before, Kay, about, tomorrow. Have we got to play with a full-strength team against Luton? Disregarding, about Sunday.
Yeah, I think we've got to roll the dice. We shouldn't really play Salah, if I'm honest.
Okay.
But
why?
But I think we've got to roll the dice because we need to win. Salah shouldn't have even come on for that game.
No.
Because he'd been out for so long and he came on cold. And he came on 20 minutes before the end of the first half.
Yeah.
So he came on cold. I'm pretty sure we were only going to use him as a break glass option. But he came on cold, then he was standing around, and of course there was another injury after that. And then he had to go full pelt. There was no way the medical team expected that. So he shouldn't really be played against Luton. But if anyone's gonna be able to handle it, it's gonna be
he'll know
him because he's the most incredible specimen of a footballer.
He knows his body.
Yeah, of course he is. People will disagree with you there for the simple reason that we've got to play a full-strength team, and this is what they're going on about, because there's no slip-ups this time. But I agree with you. I actually agree with you. So, say that he doesn't play. Would you play Gapco in front of...
Yeah, I played Diaz, Gapco, and probably Harvey Elliott.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
Remember as well, Luton are missing their best player, their top goal scorer.
That's Adebayo's house, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think Barkley's been their best player.
But this Adebayo's got all the goals. Like they haven't really got many goals spread around the team. He's their main guy. I think
Well,
he
that's
scored
good. That's
14
good then
goals
if he's out. That's good if
in
he's
all
out. Good.
comps.
Yeah, he got injured during the warm up against
They're
United.
a good side.
Yeah.
They're a good side. They played well against United.
Oh, they had a meltdown in the first 20 minutes, but they should have
Mhm.
beat United in the end.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
They had more chances. Yeah.
They battered
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
But that was
So-
at Luton's ground. They're different away.
Yeah, different
So-
Anfield.
I asked again, the lads, like your comments on this. The injury list that we've got now. And I asked them, who was the most out of all the injured players? I asked the lads, individually, who will we miss most out of the injuries? What player will we miss most?
We've just got Salah back, so it's a pretty hard one. But I mean, Nunes isn't injured, is it? I mean, he's not going to be in this. He's not going to be in the Luton game. There's rumours. He's not going to be.
Well, I was listening to Jurgen's thing. I was listening to someone else as well who got the information that he's only suffering from fatigue, Nunes this is, and cramps.
Maybe he can be on the bench.
That's what George said.
I think out of say we played like Man City, Chelsea, just for example, those two games, who will be missed the most out of those games if he's not on the pitch? Nunes.
Yeah.
Nunes, because Keller's a good goalkeeper. We've got decent midfielders to come back. We've got defenders okay. Like we're not missing Trent really, if I'm honest. But Nunes, like it's just chaos, isn't he? Like he's just
and Salah, of course. You got to say Salah. Salah's
Yeah.
phenomenon. He's an absolute phenomenon.
Yeah.
He's got to.
No, but I mean out the players that are injured now, like
Yeah, you're right. Nunes is Captain Chaos, isn't he?
I mean you could say we've missed Salah, but bloody hell, we scored bags of goals without him. And we were winning against Brentford before he came on.
But we had Jota there,
Nunes.
didn't we? But we had Jota there.
We might have scored more with him.
Yeah, Jota's amazing, but it just seems like we can't seem to get Jota and Salah on the same pitch together.
I know. Yeah.
That's mad, that, isn't it?
Like
It really is mad.
Jota comes back, Salah goes out, Salah comes back, Jota goes out.
And he's out for a few months. He's out for 2 months, I think. Jones is out for a few weeks. So Bosley is in training. So
Jones. Okay, so I was listening to a podcast today that obviously talks about injuries and stuff. And the guy who was on there, he knows a hell of a lot about injuries and that. He actually said, look, if it's a cup final, Jones could play. Like he could, because the injury he's got, he could just tape everything up, so he can't feel it. Like if he just covered his entire ankle, and maybe even took an injection, he'd still be able to play. It's not as serious as everyone thinks, and it's not a proper twist or a tear or anything like that. So he could play if it comes to the crunch. So I wouldn't rule him out of the final. Honestly. If anyone wants to play in that final, it's Curtis Jones, because he's missed so many.
Yes.
And if he's only a week away,
he's got to be fit. He's got to be fit. You can't play in a final like that if you're not fit. 100% fit. No way. It's too big a game.
I'd still have him on the bench.
Klopp will know, and the medical team will know if he's fit or not. And I'm sure that they won't play him unless he's 100% fit. That's just my opinion.
Well, we said that before, and we've had loads of players bloody get injured when they're supposed to be fit.
Yeah, like Trent.
Muscle injuries.
If you're not fit, you can't play.
Yeah,
the thing is like at the two midfielders, Endo and McAllister will play. I think both, maybe tomorrow and Sunday. It's the other guy. So it's Curtis, Gravenberch, Elliott. That's where the problem is. I think I wouldn't risk Curtis on Sunday. I wouldn't think he'll be 100% fit to play anyway. If he's on the bench, he's on the bench. But For me, it's going to either be Gravenberch, maybe even Gapco drops in that position. So if Salah's fit, and Darwin. So there's a lot of
Still don't know about
possibilities
Dom
going to
as
be.
well. Like, he's still not said if Dom's back. Like, that's not been discussed. And
He said
also
that
in
he's
the press
in light
conference today,
training.
and in the press conference today, Klopp didn't say when the players would be back.
Yeah.
Like, he said, I can't do that. He said at the moment it's day by day.
Yeah. He's
So,
very vague. Yeah. I think because he's not 100% sure what's happening.
Doesn't want to give anything away, does he, anyway?
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
No.
But he did say, K-Mac, that he just said Dom is he's in light training at the moment.
Yeah.
That could mean anything.
I know. I mean, he guaranteed that, like, Trent, Jota, Ali, none of them are going to feature. Like, they're all out.
No.
I think Nunes will be on the bench tomorrow, personally.
I think Salah will be on the bench as well. I really do. Because he didn't half mention that young Kumas lad. So, a Gapco is bound to be in the forward line tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bound to be. And Diaz as well, because Diaz has run into form. So
the
we might
lady.
go to Salah for some reason.
I think Fowler's on the bench.
Who?
I think Robbie Fowler's on the bench. He's going to get his boots back on.
Yeah. Give Gerrard a call.
I wouldn't. You know what? He probably scored.
As well. I'd love Stevie to be back. And Jota performances have been outstanding. Yeah, K-Mac. Jota's performances have been outstanding. He is a huge miss.
Yeah.
I think against Brentford, that was probably Jota's best half. He was absolutely unbelievable against Brentford, and probably pulled off the assist of the season.
Yeah, we were saying that before. Yeah, that was fantastic.
That's why Norgard jumped on him to take him out.
Yeah.
If you actually look at that, it's a combination of McAllister and Norgard, because McAllister falls onto Norgard and Norgard falls onto.
He did, yeah.
So I actually thought McAllister injured him.
I thought Norgard could have landed less high up on him. It looked like he
did do a bit of a body smash, didn't he? It was
he made sure he come down as hard as he could on him, didn't he?
Yeah. You're spot on there.
But
the thing is as well, I said this on,
hasn't he? In previous matches and against Brentford, his shins have been black and blue. His shirt's been getting ragged off. Shearer's been saying he's a diver. I mean, I
said this on.
That was a penalty. I don't care what anyone says on Jota. He was wrestled to the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was wrestled.
They call it mutual holding.
Unbelievable. Get away with murder.
What is that all about?
Well, the way the defender grabs you first and you can't get away, you're going to put your arms up, aren't you? You're not going to not put your arms up. You're going to try and go, get the hell off so I can get away from you. And then they say, oh, it's 2 of one, half a dozen of the other. Yeah, it's always been there in football. But now they give it sometimes, don't they? And then sometimes they don't. And you're like, what's the rule?
Yeah.
Yeah, what is the rule? And you've got the other penalty as well, which was definitely a penalty when Luco, he was actually kicked. His leg, his foot.
that was a penalty.
That was why didn't it go to VAR? Why didn't VAR call for that?
Who knows, Frank?
Because it's Liverpool, Frank.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
We got away with one as well, though. Robbo did foul their player. That was a pen as well.
You know when the game's a mess, when you don't know what's going to happen with decisions. No one knows now. We're waiting 2 days for a VAR decision. Just the whole game, all in all, is just a shambles,
Yeah,
including the injuries.
They've made it worse with VAR. They haven't made it better. They've made it worse. That's all there is to it.
So I said this on Jamie's show last night, that I reckon all of the all of the increase in muscle injuries, in soft tissue muscle injuries, is down to VAR and referees now, because players are having to stand around while they go and look at replays, which take like 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah, you're right.
Which is terrible, which is not good for the body. And then you've also got matches that are over like 98 minutes, which means they're going to play like almost 20 minutes extra in some games, which is just not good for footballers. And it's not only that as well. It's the fact that, and I looked into this as well because I was interested in finding out more about why we've seen this massive uptake and insurge of soft tissue muscle injuries. And I think it's also the pitches as well, because now that the female sport has now gone on to Premier League football pitches, they've got a huge influx in soft tissue injuries and hamstrings and muscle injuries for the women's game, and it's like really bad. And that's because they were used to playing on harder grounds, which weren't like the lush grass that the lush turf that the football players play on. And it's all to do with the turf as well. The fact that it is like a carpet, there's just no give on the feet. And they obviously wear like not even studs really now.
Slippers.
Like, yeah, they're like slippers, aren't they? That's a huge issue. Yeah, it's not gonna change either. It's gonna stay the same because they're not going to change the pitches.
There's a number of reasons why injuries are on the rise. The schedule's tight.
40%. It's a 40% increase, and it's not just Liverpool, by the way.
Yeah.
There's teams that have got more injuries than we have. Like they just have. Like
every club.
I think we're like 7th in the league with the number of injuries, number of injured players. So we're like quite in the middle, considering how many we've got injured. But it's just all our players seem to be like first team, like major first team players.
You never used to have those injuries. And then the previous, not even my generation, but even the 80s, 90s, you didn't have the injuries you got now. For some reason, the modern game is really, like you said, K-Mac, it's caused a lot of injuries because of these reasons. The pitch, the pace of the game, the fine-tuning of the athletes' muscles, training methods, there's obviously a reason why it's happening. It's happening too much. It's not just Liverpool, like you say. Most of the clubs have got injuries much more than they used to have, and need to get. But the VAR doesn't help. I mean, VAR doesn't help anybody. All you get is a delay, as you say, 2 or 3 minutes before a decision. The crowd don't know what's happening. The player can't celebrate. And then, as for these linesmen not raising the flags until the play is complete, that's a complete joke. Somebody's going to get seriously injured. Probably a goalkeeper coming out diving at the feet, and then the flag goes up offside about a minute, 2 minutes after the offside actually happened. I don't know where it's all coming from. Some of the administrators in the game, they've just got and now they're talking about a blue card, taking somebody off for 10 minutes, and it's just a nonsense. You watch the FA Cup games, it's a pleasure. In some of the games, there's no VAR. And if a goal's scored, the goal's scored. Whether it's right or wrong, it's scored. You know that. You can celebrate. Everybody can celebrate. So I'm not a VR fan. I'm a fan for the goal line technology, definitely, and other things. But all these things like
but the bigger
catching the ankle and whether it's a foul or not, go across to the television and then have a look at the TV, and they never change them. They never go with their own decision. They always go with VAR. Somebody must be saying in their ear, that's you got to change your decision. I've only ever seen them change a decision once, I think.
I think as well with that, I think at the start of the season, there's a group of referees like your Olivers, those guys, and Andy Taylors and them lot, and Turney's, and I think they've said to the VAR, don't even talk to me about it because I'm not overturning it. I'm the man. Like, my decision stands, like, regardless. And a lot of the VAR probably don't even question them because they know that they're still going to stick with their decision.
Yeah, because they don't want to embarrass their work colleagues.
Yeah, no, but they're the big heads. They're the big referees. Like, they're the ones who think that.
Well, the referee never sticks with the decision when they get called to the television. when they get called to the television, say they don't give a penalty or they don't give a foul, but VAR chips in and then the guy runs to the camera. He always goes as if VAR's refereeing the game, not the referee.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying about these refs. These certain refs, they VAR won't call them because they've already said.
You mentioned
I'm
Michael
not changing my
Oliver.
mind, so don't question me. You don't make me look stupid, basically.
Well,
It doesn't take much, does it?
Yeah.
I think Michael Oliver really is the best referee in the Prem. That's my opinion.
He was terrible
He's the best referee in the Prem. Tierney's the worst, by the way.
Yeah.
Tierney is the worst. And yes, he was magnificent against Chelsea.
Yeah, he did us a few favours that day, didn't he?
He was unbelievable. I think something changed. I don't know what it was. It must have been some like spell, magic spell going down.
Yeah. I think he had that many bad performances in a row against us. He thought, I can't have another one like in a big game.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to go to you, George, on this. Then you, K-Mac. Then you, JK. And lastly, Lee. And it's Anfield Road. What does the panel feel about our running? Once the European comps start again, we have Spurs and City left us tough games. The rest we should win. I hope the front line can cope. I'll go to you, George.
Well, I think it comes down to 2 games. It comes down to 2 games for us, really. 3 games, actually. One game, it doesn't concern us. It's Arsenal against Man City at the Etihad. That's a big game for us, even though we're not involved. The 2 games that we need to win, definitely, because we should win the rest. If you want to win the league, we've got to beat Forest. We've got to beat Luton. We've got to beat these other teams, and Spurs as well. But Man City at Everton. Everton ain't going to be an easy game at Goodison Park. They're fighting for every point. Derbies are notoriously different than a normal game. So we got to win that game. But City at home, I'm quite confident if we've got most of our players back, we'll win that game. With the crowd up for it, 60,000 there, keep it tight in defence. We've beat them in the past more than they've beat us at Anfield. So I think basically those are the 2 games we need to really, really win. Everton and Man City. The rest, if we don't win any of those, we don't deserve to win the league. Because we should be beating these teams if we want to win the league. We're Liverpool. That's how I think.
Okay, I think that's a good shout, actually, but you've got to bear in mind these bloody injuries. K-Mac, what do you think of that? What Anfield Road said. What does the panel feel about our running once the European comps start again? We have Spurs and City left tough games. The rest we should win. I hope the front line can cope.
So I said this a number of times, and this is what Man City is so good at: beat the dross, win the league. There's more dross teams than top teams in the league. That's just a fact. So there's about 15 teams, and then the rest. If we can beat those 15 teams, which we have been doing this season, you win the league. It's just a fact. A lot of the big teams take points off each other. I know we're looking at the Arsenal and Man City game. I wouldn't be surprised if Tottenham, Aston Villa, and Manchester United had a say in it as well. Yeah. Because they can all take points off each other. And this season they have, which has been good for us. And even Chelsea have done that to a certain extent as well, which is interesting because they're absolutely garbage against us. But that's a good thing. I also feel that the European competition, depending on who we get for the draw, that's a double leg. So if that's an easy team, then we can also rest a few more players as well. And also if we've got Anfield as the second leg, that can also help us. We've been quite good. We've had quite a decent run in all the cups for us. We've had good draws and we've had a lot of home draws, which is also good for us. So hopefully that luck can continue. But with the injuries at the moment, we've just got to roll the dice and hope that the players that come in, some of them are going to be kids. Like Klopp mentioned 4 kids in his press conference. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Like 4 kids he mentioned. Yeah. And we've now got another guy called Bobby. I was like, what Bobby? Is Bobby back? But he's talking about Bobby Clark. And he calls Danzy. Did you hear that?
Danzy.
So he knows him.
Yeah, he started. Yeah.
So he knows him. So these might be about soon. But yeah, I think I think the other teams can take points off each other this season. I think Man City are still drawing, aren't they?
Fingers crossed.
But listen, K-Mac,
it was 0-0 like 10 minutes ago.
K-Mac, like what you were saying there about playing each other.
Yeah.
The teams. Okay, what you just said there, and regarding our injuries as well, don't forget that these lads are going to come back. They're not out for the season. They're all going to come back. And Liverpool are fantastic on the running. You know that. I know that.
Well, last year.
Oh, yeah, and the last few years we have been. And people, all the pundits seem to be.
The year before we were pretty good.
Exactly.
We played every game.
Yeah. Okay. Now, right at this moment, what you said about players, and who these are playing, and the points bound to be dropped or whatever. Do you think at this moment that we can win the league?
Yeah, of course, absolutely, 100%, Frank. We don't lose at home. We've got half the games are left at home, aren't they? So, when's the last time we lost at home? I'm exaggerating, probably a couple of years ago. I don't know. Maybe lost once.
We haven't been beaten at home in 83 games in front of fans.
Exactly, K-Mac. So I think the home games are a banker, unless something stupid happens. But the away games, we've got to make sure we continue. Like K-Mac says, we got to beat these middle of the table teams and lower end teams comfortably. We've got to beat them because the big games are against City and Man United and Everton, I think.
We've already dropped 2 against Luton, haven't we? So, we need these.
Yeah, but we were the far better side that night.
Mm.
And we should never have lost.
We would have lost that on a normal day. Seriously.
Yeah.
We would have lost that on a normal day. To get out of there with a point. That was not the way Liverpool do things recently.
No.
Last season we'd have lost that.
Yeah, we got out of jail, didn't we? Yeah.
We haven't beat Brentford at their ground in 2 years. You know what I mean?
United won there 2-1 the other day, didn't they? But City only won 2-1, didn't they? About 2 months
ago. There's your bad news here, boys. There's your bad news.
Yeah, it's always going to happen. It's always going to happen.
This is the thing about City.
So predictable.
They still get them. They still get the points. Like everyone was celebrating. Everyone was celebrating like Manchester City lost against Chelsea. They didn't. They drew.
Yeah.
You still got a point.
It must have been a late goal again.
Yeah, it was a late goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, but don't we do that?
Only one.
We've done that for years. Years we've done that. Last minute goals, 1-0. That's what we were brought up on.
Yeah, but they took the lead from us with 2 goals. Was it last year? 2 years ago. They got 2 goals in the last 5 minutes.
Against Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Against 10 minutes ago or 7 minutes ago, something stupid like that. And they scored 3. They only had to draw. But they scored 3. Aguero wasn't as he scored. I don't know who scored anyway. Wasn't Aguero, was it?
Erling Haaland scored the winner.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the nightmare.
Yeah.
You see, it's football. It's football. That's the way it is. And that's why I said it's in our hands, by the way. If we win every game, we won the league.
Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah.
Every game.
All we got to do is match them points to points.
Yes.
That's all. Point to point.
Yeah.
Just have to match them.
Goal difference.
And I always remember some punter saying, he was only saying it the other day, some pundit. And he said, Liverpool. It was against Brentford when we were winning 1-0 or 2-0. And he said, Liverpool will have to score more, because the goal difference, this won't go to the wire on goal difference. And I can't see it. And I went, hang on, we're a better goal difference than them. Then we went on and he never mentioned anything after that. When we went on and they won 4-1, he never mentions about bloody goal difference. You see what I mean? After them mentioning, Liverpool will have to score more, because of goal difference. And yet we were far better off than Manchester City on goal difference, as he said. It's pathetic the way they come out with these.
Arsenal bumped the goal difference up in the last 2 games, haven't they?
Yeah, 2 ahead of us.
And Daryl Merry says, Man City are boring. They really are poor. That's what he says.
How do they win?
And Steve says, got to keep an eye on the Gooners.
Yeah, do.
The thing about Arsenal as well is, and this worries me, is they have a younger squad than ours, and they have a squad which hasn't done as much mileage as ours. So they also have a knack of being able to play 80% of their team all the time.
Yes.
And they've got a younger squad that don't get injured as much, which means they can keep them on the pitch longer. So that's a bit of a worry for me with Arsenal. They don't seem to be getting any bad injuries. And if they do lose players, they can replace them pretty well. That does worry me. If you look at their squad, I don't think it's as good as our squad, but they're not losing their key players. They haven't lost Saka, they haven't lost who's Odegaard. They don't seem to be losing those type of players, real key players for them.
But they've only got to lose 1 or 2 of them,
Yeah, I know, but they very rarely do. They very rarely have a lot of injuries.
Don't you play Porto tomorrow?
Jesus is always iffy, but we know about he's just one of their injury-prone guys. So is Zinchenko. They're kind of just their 2 injury-prone players, really. Everyone else is normally fit.
We were really unlucky that twice we played them. I mean, Anfield, we should have had a penalty, the blatant penalty in the box there. And down at Arsenal, I mean, that cock-up between Virgil and the goalkeeper cost us that game, Small margins, really.
He's the referee we've got on the final as well, by the way.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
The one who didn't give the Odegaard goal. Penalty, sorry.
Was it Kavanagh?
Yeah. No, the Spurs VAR guy.
Yeah. Yeah, and the guy didn't give the penalty against Rodri. Goodison.
Yeah, great.
Well, okay. I just want to go through these. Then I'm going to bring the 12th man on, and keep it there. Just let me read these out. There's only 4 small ones. I fell asleep watching the football. It's very boring, especially if Kevin De Bruyne ain't playing. That's what he says. That's about City, by the way.
Yeah, they're not playing well, are they? They're not playing well at the moment.
Look at this, mate. Sir Oswald Fortitude. Isn't that brilliant? Sir Oswald. Hello, sir.
You get the names.
Yeah, look, and again, that's a very good point. Champions League will affect Arsenal more than the Europa will affect Liverpool. I think he's spot on there.
Yeah, and City.
And Arsenal are the team that worries me, says Daryl Merry. I thought he left. He spat his tummy out before, came out.
Oh, did he?
He got off, yeah. And there he is back on again.
There's a score.
And
it's normally at 10 p.m.
So you've read that, have you? By Keep It Real.
It's 10 p.m.
There's no need to worry about Arsenal. Their fans will ruin it for them because their expectations, they're going to be saying we're going to win the league, we've got a chance. Us fans don't really say anything if you realise that. So I think no need to worry about Arsenal.
No need to worry.
No, yeah.
We worry about ourselves, I think, Concentrate on ourselves.
I'm not overly worried about Arsenal. They're a good side, but I don't think they're ready to win the title this season.
Well, anyway, Anyway, boys, I've got this Irish lad on, Brian, and I've got this 12th man on as well. So let's bring them on.
Evening, guys.
Good
And
evening.
look,
Good evening.
look who he's got in the background. He's got Diaz.
You've just got rid of Brian. You got
I
rid of
invited
Brian.
Lucio to the party.
Have I got rid of Brian?
Frank, you got rid of Brian.
Hey, 12th man.
Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
there he
How's
is.
it going?
Brian, sorry, I didn't realise you got rid of you, fella, honestly. So anyway, Brian, how are you? Brian.
I'm very good. Thanks for the invite.
Okay. I didn't realise that, you know, put you on and took you off again. I'm like that, you see. Anyway, 12th man, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? How's the panel?
Yeah,
Oh,
good. Thanks, yeah.
Well, thanks,
Not too
mate.
bad.
Looking
They've
forward to
been
the meeting.
arguing with themselves.
It's
They've
like
been
celebrity
arguing
squares, doesn't
between
it?
themselves. That's what they've been doing. They've been very naughty. It's like you know, the life of Brian. They've all been naughty.
The life of Brian. Oh,
Feels like
Monty
celebrity
Python.
squares.
I'm gonna ask Brian here. I'm gonna ask just what I've asked everyone, and they've all come out with different opinions here. Then over to you, 12th. Okay.
Mhm.
Out of all our injuries, who's the player, just the one player, that Liverpool will miss most? Brian.
The first one that comes to my mind, Allison. I know I could make other ones, but he popped into my head first.
Mhm.
That I don't think the other ones are. Yeah, they all annoy me, Frank. None of them are great. But if you ask me, the one lad we could put back in, you know, I'm an Irishman. I love Queevy and Keller, and I think he's sound for us. Virgil said it today, he's world class. But yeah, I'd have Ali back. That's what I'd do.
No, that's
what I
fine.
said.
What about you, 12th?
I'm going to say. I know. I was going to say Allison's a great shout. I mean that is something that we definitely can utilize immensely. It depends. I mean, I was going to say either Trent or Salah. Though, to be honest with you, I understand we've done well without each, but considering that we're so low on forwards at the current moment, it makes Salah missing or possibly missing a game or two or whatever it might be, even more so impactful to me. So I would say Salah. We don't necessarily have a real right wing backup that I would say.
Okay, that's a good one. I'm going to go to one of the lads, and this is very important. This Bonkers says Jones. That's who we'll miss most. He said Jones. That's who we'll miss most. And it looks like Diaz, he'll be missed because, as Soulboy France says, hope Diaz gets back from the States in time for tomorrow because he's right behind you, 12th man.
Yeah. I'll be sure to put him on that G5. He'll be all right. He'll take it.
He'll send him tonight.
I was really confused then what that message was.
I was thinking he was passing shoot or something.
I was literally looking to see what was happening.
Like, where's he gone?
I was searching to see what was happening.
You got two heads.
He did me there, like.
See, it's enough. Look at the hills, isn't it? But as you know, as Darryl says, Salah isn't missing.
Yeah.
You know, but it's the lads. It's the lads who are missing. 12th. That's who's missing. Right. You know, out of them all.
I know that Salah was on and off though. I didn't know if Salah was on.
Yeah, no, I understand that. But all the lads that are injured, out and injured now. Mm-hmm. Who would you miss most?
Then I would probably go with Curtis. I'd probably go with Curtis Jones. I've been saying that Curtis Jones, in my opinion, is the most essential player in our midfield right now. I said that early in the year. I got a lot of pushback. People have now somewhat warmed to that take, and I'm sticking with it. I think Curtis Jones has immensely taken on a role that was normally performed by Ginny on our team, and I think he has more. He offers even more than Ginny does, I think, and it's so encouraging that he's a young lad that can grow, even has a higher ceiling possibly than even Ginny. So I say Curtis Jones.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Okay.
I'm a Curtis sexual. I always have been.
You what?
Yeah.
I'm a Curtis sexual. I always have been.
We passed the sheds, yeah, we passed it. Well, Salah and Nunes get discussed in the embargo.
Sorry.
Do you know anything about this embargo that Salah and Nunes was discussed? Any of you?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, when the press conference ends, they have an embargo where there's other questions and where he comes out with that doesn't come back to us. That's all. It doesn't get back to us. So they've been discussed, and that's Salah and Nunes. Look, Nunes, as I said, is out because of fatigue and cramps. That's Nunes. Salah is okay. Salah is okay, and I think he'll play tomorrow. But I agree with what K-Mac says. I'm being honest. I'd keep him out for Sunday. I really wouldn't play him tomorrow because we've got enough forwards there that can do the job against Luton. That's what I'm saying. Would you agree with that, George?
I'd have Salah on the bench and I'd have Nunes on the bench if they're not fit because, we've got to win this game tomorrow. And they're not an easy team, Luton. I know it's Anfield and we should be well favourites. But, I mean, you never know. Towards this second half, look at City today playing against Brentford 1-0. It's going to be a tough game. If they're fit, I would put them on the bench. That way you can rest them for Sunday if we're doing well and we're winning. Yeah. And if we're not, you've got the option.
Well, Brian Edley says Jota will be the biggest miss, no doubt about it. Every team needs a real number 9 in my eyes.
Yeah, it's going to be a big miss.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And as you said before, K-Mac, Luton top scorer is out, which is good for us.
Good news, isn't it? Yeah, that's good.
It's good news, but it's breaking them down. That's the problem.
Can I ask the people out there to just press the like button, please? And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Costs nothing. If you want to make a comment, it does get discussed by the panel. Just to get the algorithm out there. That's all. Thank you so much. Thank you. And
everyone from my channel, subscribe to Frank's
thank you.
channel.
Thank you.
That's brilliant.
I see a load of you on here, so
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, look, I'll go to you, K-Mac. Carlyle, right? Scored again tonight. He scored a blinder. Was it last week? I seen him score.
4 weeks ago.
Has he scored 4 goals now or 5 goals?
Yeah.
He's unbelievable. So would you have him back, or would you sell him on? Because we don't know, if Xabi's coming. We don't know if he'll keep him. Because Klopp doesn't want him.
Next manager, if he plays a 10, he'll be in the mix.
Yeah.
Good player.
I think he just can't
play in a Klopp system. That's all.
Yeah.
Can't play in a Klopp system. He hasn't got the pace to be a left winger or a right winger.
No.
And he's not a centre forward, and he's not really strong enough in midfield. So he's a perfect number 10. He's a bit like Harvey Elliott, isn't he?
Well, when he scored
really good number 10s.
Well, when he scored against Newcastle that time, you have a look at that goal. Yeah. And he hit it. He was so quick at getting the way the ball was bouncing about. He was so quick. And he just hit it. It was a cracking goal. And yet he doesn't get any, when someone says about scoring goals and definitely, whatever. Unfortunately, he never gets mentioned. I like Carlyle, I really did, But as you said, K-Mac, he wasn't fitting into the system.
I don't think Klopp rated him, did he? Klopp didn't rate him really somehow as much as maybe he should have done, because he got better players than him that he got, like Szoboszlai and McAllister and the other lads, But yeah, he's a good player, Frank, I think. At the end of the day, as you do well up there and on loan at the moment.
What do you think, Brian? Do you think that, would you keep him, Carvalho?
Well, I'm with the lads. It's very much a new manager job, this one, isn't it? Like the conversation about this, how long is it now since he made the announcement? Say it's a month, right? So a month and a half ago, this is a really different conversation. Like K-Mac is saying, he's a great player. I saw him, like the guy has experience in the Premier League and before with Fulham. He scored goals in the Premier League as a kid. He's got all the skills, he's got all the ability, but did he fit into that Klopp team? Well, I think we got our answer when he sent him out on loan and sent him straight back out on loan again. But if the next guy has got a position for someone like Carvalho and he wants a Carvalho type in his team, well, I reckon everyone, like, it'll be the normal kind of situation, clean slate. Everyone that's back is back. Everyone get a shot under the new manager. And I think for a young, highly talented player like him, someone like Alonso seems to play very, different type of. I know he plays a lot, but at the moment it's like a 3-4-2-1 type of thing. Plays with a couple of little attacking midfielders, number 10 types. Yeah, why not? I reckon he'll get pre-season. If it's an Alonso that comes in, I reckon he won't be told you're going straight back out again. I can see him getting a pre-season to impress. And if he does that, and the attitude, which is what I've heard, the gossip, the talk around why he left is, inverted commas, attitude problems. So if that gets ironed out and that's not a real issue, but he as much a chance of having a future as anybody else, because we all seen he's got the ability, got the talent.
Okay, yeah. That's a great comment, to be honest. What about you?
Good asset to the club. It could be a good asset to the club if he gets a pre-season next year, depending on who the manager is. I mean, he's obviously got the talent, hasn't he? And good players are hard to find. Ain't going to cost us any money. And if if he gets the right attitude, gets support, it's like I said earlier on in the podcast. You get your chance, you have to take it. Get into the team, get on the field, and you got to do it.
I know that, George. You've always liked him. You've always liked Carvalho.
Yeah, I like talented players. It's skillful. Yeah.
Number of occasions, and you said about Jürgen, he mustn't like him for some reason. And as K-Mac said, he doesn't fit into the system. And I'm going to ask the 12th man. What's your take on Carvalho?
I was saying, comment back to Soul Boy Fran in the chat at least, and I agree with him. I think that there could be a future with Carvalho, but I just think that he doesn't provide really the press. He's not effective enough on the counter press. And if you can't provide anything for that in the counter press in a Klopp system, you're not going to get time. Period. So, and I also think that it'd be good for him to bulk up a little bit. He's a little bit, when you're dealing with big boys on the pitch there, and he can get muscled off of a lot of different situations. So, the Prem has definitely shown that if you're not ready for this kind of level, then you will be found out very quickly. So, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a good point about the pressing. A good point about not pressing.
It is. What's your take there, Lee, about Carvalho?
Yeah, I think he's a player that just needs to play somewhere else for the bit, and then maybe he'll come back a different player. Maybe he won't, but he just needs to play somewhere else, doesn't he? We did the right thing, I think. Said, it's not like he was going to get any game time here, is it? So, sending him out on loan again can only do the lad good.
Yeah. But when he went to Leipzig didn't seem to like him at all, and he couldn't get any game time. And I think that's a shame, to be honest. And we'll go over to JK here. Was there any news about him over there in Germany?
Tell you the truth, normally if like Harry Kane, they went over the top with him, like he was everywhere because he was actually doing something good, Carvalho didn't even get no game time. And I've seen Carvalho's face a while back. He had this attitude on him, same as Doak as well. And what it is with Klopp, if you haven't realised, he likes smilers. and a bit like Gakpo, Van Dijk, Salah, always smiling, and that's the type of energy he wants his players to have. And for some reason, Carvalho scored against Newcastle, and he was actually doing some nice stuff, but for some reason his face just changed, and I knew straight away he's going to play for us. So depends on what the manager situation is next season, but he's a little player, he's a good player, but it just depends on his attitude for me.
Okay. Okay.
Can I just
go ahead.
Carvalho. Thing about Carvalho is he came into the youth system quite early with Fulham, and he was a real star asset. Like, he was really highly touted to play for England as well, and he turned down England and said he wanted to play for Portugal. Okay, so he was going to be part of that group of players like your Leaos, and you've got a lot of incredible players in the Portuguese team who were quite young. So he was one of them that was coming through, and he had a great breakout season for Fulham when he was 19. He scored like 13 goals and 7 assists in the Championship, and almost pushed them into the Premier League. Remember, I think they finished in the playoffs that season, and he was in there with who's the big lad who went to Saudi Arabia?
Mitrovic.
Yeah. So he played with him. So he played behind him in a system which worked really well as a 10, and broke into the box and scored a lot of goals. That's not how we play at Liverpool. So you're buying a guy that you're now going to reinvent into a different position.
Absolutely.
Such a young age. It's really difficult for him. And the thing about it as well is, someone wrote it in the chat, like, he could be like a Coutinho. He's got a lot of skill, and he's got a lot of flair, and he scores good goals as well. But we don't play the pockets. We don't play that gap between midfield and attack, and we don't have midfielders that do that. So he just doesn't fit into our system. So you're buying a player like, square peg round hole. That's pretty much what he's like with a Klopp team. Yeah. He went over to Leipzig. Leipzig had made all their signings. Like, he was like a loan at the end, and they bought a guy called Openda from Belgium, and he's just an absolute goal machine. He played in the same position, so he couldn't get in the team. So he got about 8 games, and they were like cup games and Polko Cup and stuff like that. And I think he scored like 1 or 2 goals. Couldn't really get into the team, but the manager wanted to keep him in case of injuries. And he's still only young. I think he's 20 or maybe 21 now. But we took him back. We took him back because we wanted to try him in a man's league, like, and give him games. And we wanted to get him alone like Elliott got, where Elliott had a breakout with Blackburn and then came back and kind of just went straight into our team seamlessly until he got the injury again in the Leeds game. So that's exactly what we wanted to do. So we'll see what happens next year. But the new manager will definitely look at him. Like, he's a very, very good player.
But while you're there, K-Mac, Ian McCabe says the Leipzig chief said that he didn't like having competitors for his position. So, in other words, not up for the fight for his place in the team. That's what he said about Carvalho, and that's why he got no game time, unfortunately. I when I first seen Carvalho, and I'm talking about when he played for Fulham, I said to my daughter, I said, look at this lad, he's coming to Liverpool, this lad. And she looked at him and she said, he's fantastic, isn't he? I said, yeah, I can't wait for him to get to Anfield. And look what happened. As you said, K-Mac, it's like bloody systems, you can't. But I would have kept him anyway. I would have just
the thing about Liverpool players as well, though, and this is, I'm not blaming Klopp for this, but I kind of am in a way. He gets a lot of players to do stuff which they shouldn't really be doing. No. Like he gets them to play in positions where that's not their strong position, but he wants them there. So it's like you get just look at Harvey Elliott, for example. Like, Harvey Elliott plays where Carvalho plays. Well, Harvey Elliott just went, you know what? I'll just play in midfield because the boss wants me to. and I really want to be here and I really love it. But he was garbage for a long time.
He
And
was.
it didn't help him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he's had to learn the hard way. Maybe if Carvalho did that, he might be where Elliott is. I don't know. But he obviously didn't. Obviously didn't want to. He was like, why do you want to play me as an 8? I'm a 10. Like, you know what I mean?
It all boils down to attitude.
Yeah, exactly. Character and attitude. And if you're the right for the team, you'll be in the team. If Klopp thinks you're a player that will make an asset to the team, and you'll be in the team. There's no reason why not. You know, everybody who plays in that team now are in because they deserve to be, because Klopp rates them, and they play to Klopp's system. And Carvalho, for whatever reason, despite his talent, perhaps didn't fit into that system at the time he was at Anfield, so he was moved on. A bit like you said with Harvey before. But Harvey Elliott come back, and he's been a good asset to the club. He's influenced games throughout the season from coming on as substitute, and you know, I mean, you obviously in your hands, he would not.
But young Bradley's the same, isn't he? I think, you know what, we were all saying about Kwanzaa, you know, being this new young star, which he is. Don't get me wrong, which he is. But when I seen Bradley, I think he's absolutely fantastic. I've never said that about a young player before in my life.
Gareth Bale regen. Telling you, he's a Gareth Bale regen. Honestly, he is so good. Seriously,
he's a real deal.
I don't want to talk about Gareth Bale here, but Gareth Bale as a kid, he's on the same trajectory. Watch, seriously, new manager is gonna get him firing as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for you, George. It's only
He'll go from strength to strength as well. He can only get better. He's 20.
Oh, he's going to get better. He's definitely going to get better.
How good is he already?
You can see it. You can see it in the style and everything else.
Yeah.
Would you agree with the 12th man there? And he said he certainly has the attitude, ego of Coutinho.
Yeah, I said that.
It's not all about talent, is it? It's a combination. If you've got the talent, you've got to have the attitude, you've got to have the character to maintain success. One's not good without the other, I'm afraid.
I think maybe part of his development while he's away will be as a person as well as a player, maybe to not in the dressing room.
Maybe get a bit more mature. As he gets a bit more mature, you know, he might be blossom.
Whatever he did rubbed up the Leipzig coach and the wrong way. So hopefully he won't do stuff like that in the future.
I think we rubbed up the Leipzig coach the wrong way because they wanted to keep him, and we went, nah, he's coming back.
We want him back. Yeah.
They were pissed. They were pissed.
Injury free. Yeah. But listen, this lad's go on about the team now, and he says, Neil H, we have lots of number 10s, Gravenberch, Elliott, Jones, McAllister, Carvalho, Bosley. So they're all the number 10s. So
but they could all play different positions.
But who's the best out of them? Who's the best out of those number 10s? I wouldn't.
McAllister.
Who?
McAllister for me.
Yeah, McAllister. Yeah. But Szoboszlai, I think Szoboszlai's a fantastic player. What do you think, Brian, about Szoboszlai?
I think out of that list there, if you're saying for that number 10, quietly it would be Szoboszlai because we haven't seen him do it in the Premier League yet. We saw McAllister do it at Brighton. I think McAllister's an excellent number 10 as well, but I think Szoboszlai could be one of the most talented there. Like, he's got it all. I think he's a big miss. We played him a lot. Like, when he came in, Frank, like, the guy started the first game, played 90 minutes, and then just played 90 minutes every week after that until he got injured. We asked him to work a lot, and we don't see him play for Hungary. He plays right wing, left wing, number 10, attacking midfielder. He's like their Coutinho. Like, he's really creative, flair player. You know, he does a different job for Klopp, so we don't see that. I think if you're asking me, I'd actually put Szoboszlai in there. But the thing, just quickly on the Carvalho thing, that's what I that's what all that gossip was about, was that it was an attitude thing. And it was like K-Mac was saying, the story I heard was there was something to do with the Portugal thing. And when he declared for Portugal, there was something that went down when that happened. The Klopp was like, right, I don't really like the sound of that. And I think what it was like what someone else was alluding to, is that he thought it would be easier to get into Portugal team to get in the England squad. And he doesn't like competition. He wanted to be, and Klopp was like, no, that's not the right way to go about things. You need to go out and grow up a bit and learn a bit. And like, if you've got, like, say at the elite level, if your talent is say 3 out of 10 at the elite level, 3 out of 10, but your attitude is 9, 10 out of 10, you can have a career. You can have a good career. But if your talent is 9 out of 10, but your attitude is 2 out of 10, you won't have a career. You won't. That's like, there's so many of the most talented players, Ravel Morrison, players like that, had all the ability. Apparently best player in the academy, didn't have the attitude, never made it. You know, so if there's something going on there, it doesn't matter how good you are.
Exactly.
You know.
Okay. What about you, 12th?
Well,
these number 10s here.
Yeah, there's a lot of great number 10s. I mean,
to be fair, I'll pick it. Go ahead.
There's a lot of great number 10s there. That's a promising sign if we do end up getting, you know, the preferred candidate for our next coach, if it is Alonso, because he does play with a 10. But considering we don't play with a 10, the one difference with Carvalho is that all those names down there, they can all play different positions other than 10. So, you know, if he's Carvalho's gonna like focus on wanting to be a 10, and that's the only position he really wants to play, you know, and he doesn't recognize the fact that, like, the one opportunity that he had against Newcastle when he scored that goal, that was a great goal for him to score and everything else. And, you know, he can't find the direction of what we heard the coach say today in the press conferences. You know, players have to people out there have to recognize that players have to be prepared to play more than just one position, you know, especially when it comes to this club, at least, or this team. So, you know, if you're stuck upon that, then it is what it is. I had to bring in Trent. I had to call Trent in. I know Trent's just because you said something about a young man.
Diaz already. You said Diaz my post, didn't it?
He was saying he's saying, shh, Connor Bradley's there. He's fantastic. But I was young. He's young too. I'm sure he said the same about him as well as a right back. That's what
you know. When I said, you know, he was your best most, we've all picked different players. You know, we have picked different players.
Yeah.
And George, who would you like to see at that number 10? You know, people were saying about Brian was saying about Szoboszlai, others were saying about McAllister. Who would you like to see at that number 10? That's a cracking question.
I was saying before, Szoboszlai, when he came in the team, was a revelation. He was a 90-minute running machine, and he was creating things, scoring wonderful goals from distance. You know, and I thought, what a player we've got here, and we have. You know, is he Hungarian captain? I mean, he's an amazing player, but I think he maybe just ran out of steam a bit because he looked a bit tired at one stage. I think he started to look drawn, and then he got injured. So we need to get him back to full fitness. And if we do, he's a fantastic asset. At the moment, I think McAllister is playing really well. You know, I had a few doubts about him at the start, you know, maybe his pace, but he seems to have shaped up brilliantly, whether he's got fitter, more confident, more into the way of the team. But he's been playing great as number 10. You know, we've got Endo there at like number 6, if you like, at the moment, which has been a revelation. So they're all good. I mean, and of course, Curtis Jones, I mean, since last year when he came through the back end of last season, he's been brilliant this year. You know, it's just so sad that we've got these injuries from these players. But they're all good there. You know, we've got a great squad this year. That's a big difference. A depth in the squad. And also with the young players that Jurgen was talking about, you know, Kumas and Connell and, you know, all these guys coming through, they're pushing to get in, which is good because it keeps people on the toes. You got, you know, competition at left back with Tsimikas and Robertson and Gomez. You know, they're all pushing to get in. You can't lose when it's in that situation, Frank. You know, so I would say if Szoboszlai gets fit, but McAllister for me at the moment is a very key player.
Well, I'm going over to Lee, but before I go, Ian McHale says about Szoboszlai, a fit Szoboszlai, like we saw at the beginning of the season, was superb. He gave the side, and this is spot on what he's saying here. He gave the side power with his physique and closing down. Non-stop running. Great player. Lee.
Yeah, with Szoboszlai, he looks pretty perfect to play like a number 10 role, doesn't he? Maybe if our formation was slightly different under a different manager, like he'd be perfect for it, wouldn't he? But Elliott's a player, you know, he's only young, isn't he? But you can see he's got like potential in that position, can't you? And then there's the McAllister. I think Jones is a little bit different now that we've moulded him into a harder working midfielder. I'm not sure Jones is that type of player really. He can play. He can do some of them things, but I'm not sure that that's the best role for him. Who else was mentioned? Carvalho, yeah, he's another one, yeah, who could definitely play the role maybe in the future, but we'll see what happens next year. But we've definitely.
What about you, Kmart? Who would you like to see as a number 10?
So I'll just give you a synopsis on some of them. So you've got McAllister and Szoboszlai doing 10 goals last season for their previous clubs. So you got those two guys that are pushing out the goals and assists. I think Dom got 10 in 10. I think McAllister maybe got 10 and 6 or something. So they both got goals in them. But I've got to be honest, like, and this isn't out of my mouth. This is out of Steven Gerrard's mouth. Like, Steven Gerrard said that Curtis Jones is quite possibly one of the best attacking midfielders to come through Liverpool since him. And he's probably said that he's better than him at some stages when he was a youth. Like, Curtis Jones is an incredible attacking midfielder, but Klopp's moulded him into this hard-working, an orchestrator? I wouldn't even call it an orchestrator, just a cultured midfielder. Doesn't give the ball away, wins lots of duels, keeps everything ticking over, slows the play down when it's needed. But did you watch Curtis Jones against Leicester? Did you see the 2 goals Curtis Jones scored against Leicester? Like, they were number 10 goals. They were breaking from midfield, scoring brilliant strikes, 2 of them. Like, what about the one where he dribbled past half of their team? Curtis Jones would be a sensational number 10. I can guarantee if we got Xabi Alonso, he would definitely look at him at doing the Florian Wirtz role. Guarantee it.
When he first broke into the squad, he was like 100% an attacking midfield, and everything was about running at players, fate, and trying to get shots off.
Remember that goal he scored against Everton?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He was 18. He was 18 when he scored that.
It was a cracking goal when he cut in, and he beat about 3 or 4 players and went into the area. And
West Ham.
What a goal that was!
But did you see the goals he scored against Leicester? Remember those? Remember them as well?
Oh yeah.
Remember last season at Brentford when we went down at Brentford and he got a pile drive and it took a tiny little nick off someone, but it was far out and he didn't half web it.
Yeah. Curtis is another one who's taking his chance, isn't he, Frank? I mean, he's always been prepared to try things. That's what I like about Curtis Jones. He doesn't play safe. He's always trying to beat a man, trying to lay the pass off, doing something different, you know. And that's what you want in a player like him.
No, I think you're right there. I'm going to go to 12th man after I just read these out, if you don't mind. Okay, get your opinion.
No.
Neil, sorry.
Someone just wrote Allison's out till April.
Yeah,
I'm just going down there. Thanks a lot. Can I finish off?
Please, no.
No spoilers, going back. No spoilers.
Okay. Could be a rumour. Anyway, Neil, I feel we have lots of potential with gears to go up. I hope the new manager elevates these players to new levels. That's a very good shout. And he carries on by saying, unpopular shout, I don't feel Trent and Szoboszlai fit well together.
I agree.
Arthur Schofield,
I agree.
Szoboszlai, sorry, what did you say?
I agree. And 12th man knows this as well.
Okay, Szoboszlai has yet to show how talented he is. However, McAllister for now would be needed most. And that was Arthur Schofield. Gory says, is Alisson out till April? Surely not.
That's why Van Dijk was talking up Kelleher, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
That's why Van Dijk was talking up Kelleher in an interview the other day, because obviously they want to build his confidence up now, because it's going to be a big job for him now.
Absolutely.
But how is a goalkeeper, for God's sake?
Yeah.
How does he get an injury? How? Not playing. So what's the trainer?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We've all got to be honest here. Okay? We've all got to really be honest here. Alisson is an injury-prone player.
Yeah.
He just is. Like, he's world class, but he's injury-prone. He's had 2 hamstrings this season. Like, it's unheard of. Goalkeepers don't get hamstrings.
Yeah.
Like,
and the first one come from him not being rested properly after that flight, didn't it?
Exactly. And this one was down to him having the flu.
Kelleher rise to the occasion.
You know, there's an element of it where you kind of have to go, look, Ali, you need to be doing better, mate. Like, you're missing games. Like,
well, keep it real, says. I was in Duncan Oldham chat earlier. Yeah, look, he's at the same. Not an ours, you know, the opening. I was in Duncan Oldham chat earlier. He looks on some site where it tells you about players' injuries, and it said about Ali, his return date is the 30th of March. I wouldn't take any notice of that, I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Well, that's
medical people.
We need him for the City, but we need him back and, like, you know, having a couple of games fit. If this is what's happening, like, then I'm crushed about that.
Well, anyway, I'm going over to our 12th man because he's been sitting there very patiently. I think it's you, you know, with all those particular names that came up.
Right.
Who would you have as a number 10?
Oof. Let me see. I'm trying to remember all the names that were on that list.
George Clooney, Brad Pitt.
Yeah. There you go.
BDD.
There you go. That's a really good question. Who I'd have as a number 10?
Well, I picked Szoboszlai, by the way, and a couple picked McAllister, and I'm going on the comments as well.
Mm-hmm.
I go for Szoboszlai, I'm being honest.
Szoboszlai's a good shout. McAllister's a good shout. I think I don't know who I would go as for number 10. because it's an interesting question. It's just that the number 10 spot is so far out of my mind. I mean, I wanted us to go to a 4-2-3-1 when we had Bobby, for instance. And I thought Bobby could have been a great number 10 for us. It could have probably prolonged his career as well, because he wouldn't have to be so far advanced and utilize his pace and all those types of things. And we can focus more on his passing and ball control. But, you know, once that ship passed and Klopp still didn't go over 10, you know, obviously we see with Carvalho being shipped out as well. It's like when it comes to that 10 role, I think the 10 is being slowly but surely phased out of modern day football today. You know, a lot of times, a lot of these cases are the case. So if I had to make a choice, I guess I would go with McAllister most likely out of that choice.
Yep.
I do have, well, since he's taking a phone call, I do have a question for you, George, that I definitely wanted to ask you. And that was, I know some people have concerns with our corners, our set pieces, and I've gotten to a couple of different debates as to I want to know your opinions on our corners offensively and defensively. And I also wanted to ask you a question on, like, for instance, do you prefer in-swinging corners, or do you prefer us to be taking out-swinger style corners? Is it something as simple as that as being the difference maker, and probably probably making a higher likelihood that we can score off of our corners?
Yeah, it's a real issue now, corners, because you get such a lot of in the 6-yard box pushing and tugging and pulling and arms around the attacker, and it never seemed to get penalised. My own opinion is I prefer out swinging corners, because the in swinging corners tend to be a lot of the times caught by the goalkeeper.
Okay.
What I don't like is these corners which go to the near post. It's almost like a missed kick. You're waiting for the ball to come in. You've got Van Dijk up there, Kanati up there, big lads waiting, and it goes to the near post and gets cleared. So as long as it gets into the 6-yard box, away from the goalkeeper, quite high and dropping, you've got Alexa Virgil can get in and get onto it. Matty to be quite good at that as well. So I prefer an outswinger corner rather than that's just my opinion. And I think Liverpool need to make. They've not done too bad from set pieces over the last few years, to be honest. But I think that's why I'd look at it 12th man. I'd look at it being an outswinging corner coming towards just outside the 6-yard box, and either middle of the goal or to the back post, but not to the near post. Also, sometimes a short corner is quite good. You play a good short corner can be productive.
We used to take a lot of short corners. Actually. We've kind of progressed away from that. I was going to ask, how about defensively, though? Do you think we have an issue defensively, or what can we do better?
Well, we do, because we lost one against Burnley. Was it Burnley? We lost one where the man was unmarked. Yeah, and we've lost a couple from corners, which we've, I think we need to be a little bit more organised defensively from corners. I think it's been a bit weaker than it should have been, I think, to be honest. Maybe it's been sorted now, I don't know. But we have lost a few goals this year from corners, which we shouldn't have done, I think.
Do you think it's because of zonal marking, or the mix of the zonal man marking, or are you someone that goes, you would prefer to see just man marking totally? Is that?
Well, I'm a bit old-fashioned. I prefer man marking, to be honest. I like to get. What I don't like to see is a guy about 5'6" marking a guy at 6'6". You've got to match him up.
That's what's happened. That's what's happened with us a number of times.
Exactly.
Tall man's ended up with a small man.
Yeah, and it's no good. And it goes over the head and it's in the net before you know where you stand. So you've got to be. I think man-to-man marking's really right. But they need to sort out this pushing and shoving and holding on.
Completely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, they got my tickets for the Southampton game anyway.
Sorry,
what
Frank?
the vote was for. Got the tickets for the Southampton game.
Oh,
well done.
Enjoy.
That's great.
With Francine and Sophia. Sophia likes to get dressed up in all the little red and white. My granddaughter,
Could be a good game, yeah. If you cup,
right. Frank, are you going to watch the under 18s then?
Well, do you know what? Our Francine wears Shankly's tracksuit top.
Yeah, I've seen it.
She loves it, as you know, George. So she'll be made up with that.
You know what's hilarious? When obviously you were chatting then, I was just having a look at Alisson injuries, and like I was looking and I was going, oh, is that with a shoulder injury? And then I was like, oh no, that's from another year. Oh, is that with this injury? Oh no, that's from another year. I literally couldn't find it because there were so many other reports on injuries with him. That's nuts.
I wonder why it's happening. It's clear, isn't it?
It's definitely training. It must be, especially for hamstring injuries, because it's the first time I've seen our players get injured on the pitch, rather than when they come out and say, "Oh, he's injured." Well, he never got injured on the pitch, so it was training. Got injured.
I'll have to have a quiet word with John Afterberg because he might have some information on that.
Yeah,
he had the flu, and when you got the flu, your body's weak anyway. So he's probably rushed back into training, probably tried to do something, and bang. That's my opinion.
Also, just in case you didn't know, we only came back to full training 2 weeks ago because we had a month break. Remember, or we had a 2-week break. So you know, that could be an element of the reason why we've got all these injuries, because players haven't been actually doing any training. We've just gone straight back into full-blown training. That could be another reason. Wasn't Queven injured as well this year?
Yeah,
he was
for a bit. Yeah, so it's obviously Taffarel's killing the goalies.
that's only Endo. Endo's the only one. I've been injured, I think.
Oh, yeah, knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood. Yeah, I'm touching my dick.
All right,
That's old.
Vigo.
Yeah.
I haven't got any wood around me.
Frank, I just want to say one thing, Frank, if you don't mind.
Sorry?
Can I say one thing? So I wanted to just comment on something that George said, and I think I totally agree with what he had to say. And that was about the fact of, I understand that it's a rough and tough, or as in like it's a physical game and everything else. But I don't understand why more calls aren't made inside the box with the blatant holding. There was in their last game, there was a hold on that should have been called a penalty actually on Diego, where he just literally got tackled and pulled down in the box. No call, no review, no anything. And I understand that, again, it's a physical game. It exists. We're going to see it. But if you don't call the fouls, or you don't call these calls, people are going to continue to do it and continue to do it even more so, to the point where you have your blatant fouls that aren't being called. And I think it's a travesty that we don't see more of that being officiated properly. I wanted to make sure I said that.
I don't think nothing will change, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. The thing for me, I think you either get rid of it or you start giving them. You know, no in between. You know,
well, that's what we discussed before.
Don't give any, or you start giving them. Like
2 blatant penalties against.
Yeah, look, a couple of years ago, I would have looked at that and I wouldn't have even thought it was a penalty, because you know you'd never get it. So they should just go back to the way it used to be, and people can grab each other. Like, so what? Like, and also stop that handball crap as well. Like, your arm's connected to your bloody body. You can't do nothing about it.
Yeah.
Did you see the Newcastle pen that got given for the shirt?
You see the Luton and Sheffield United? Yeah. Was it Luton and Wolves, wasn't it? Someone like that. They were just ridiculous. Like, the guy couldn't do anything about it. Like, they were just daft.
It's common sense, you know. When I played, a penalty was given for a deliberate handball. Deliberate. Mm-hmm. You know, now the ball hits you. You know, where you're supposed to put your hands. Mm-hmm. You got this stupid nonsense of the fingers come forward with the hands behind the back. Mm-hmm. You know, if it hits you accidentally on the arm, it's not a penalty, surely. If it hits you in the hand with your hand outside, fine. Or if you push the ball away, like the guy did in the Arsenal match at Anfield. But, you know, so many penalties given for stupid, you know, top of the elbow things, which nobody... Look at that one with, was it McAllister in the European Cup? It rolled off his chest onto the top of his arm. He gave a penalty 2 minutes later, and Kwanzaa lost a goal because... Not a penalty, sorry. He disallowed the goal. The Kwanzaa scored.
Do you remember Ragnar Klavan in the Champions League semi against Roma in 2018, where he had his arms behind his back and one of their players kicked it at him? He had his arms behind his back like that. He couldn't have been any tighter behind his back. And the ball went like that, and it's his elbow with his arms behind his back, and the ref went, like, what? What was he meant to do?
What I hate about that as well, the handball thing now, is players stick their arms behind the back and they turn away from the ball now. Like Gomez did it loads. And because you're turning away, you're making your body even more like smaller, so they can get a better shot, or they can kind of run past you because you're doing this, like thinking they're going to shoot. I think it's just a joke. Like, you know, like all of these technology is supposed to make things better. It's actually made things worse.
If your hands are behind your back, though, it could take away from the holding and grabbing we were talking about earlier. So
just rip their arms off, right? Just tie them up like that. Play like that.
Can't hold and grab if your hands are behind your back.
It's absolutely ridiculous. So, you know, some of the decisions and everything else, but As Jamie Phillips says, God evening, gentlemen.
Even good evening, yeah.
He must be talking to you, where's yours, God. No, we mean God's, we all know that.
Yeah.
Big up, Jamie.
I've just asked JK there to send him a link. Let's hope that he can come on for 5 minutes.
I can send him the link.
No, go ahead.
Yeah.
See if he's still there.
See if he's about. 2 seconds.
Great if he could come on.
My place. 2 seconds.
But it's true. Allison rules out for 5 to 6 weeks.
Just been talking about it.
Pretty much the season, isn't it? That's pretty much the season, that.
Yeah.
But mind you, as Brian said, we've got, as Brian says, we've got Kelleher.
Goalkeeper.
I think, he proved himself. Don't forget, he came in last week cold. And he played a blinder. That save he made against Brentford. It was
unlucky there, wasn't it? Unlucky.
And if Allison would have saved that, we would have been drooling over it. And the goal that they scored as well, so unlucky. And that's how quick he was down. He got to it, and he tried to get up. Well, he did get up, and he just missed out on the, Tony's follow-up. But that's how good he is, that Kelleher. So, again, it's like Bradley. It's like Bradley. If the likes of Trent moves into midfield, I wouldn't be worried about right back, simply because Bradley's there, the young lad, Conor Bradley. It's like Kelleher. I think he can come out and prove himself once and for all. To be honest, like a couple of other injuries, like Gravenberch, for example. Gravenberch must pick up what he's given.
I've got to go, guys. Jamie's jumping in now. Okay, Frank.
Is he?
Yeah, he just messaged me. He's jumping in now.
Frank, I've got to go as well. I've got to go.
Okay. Thanks a lot,
leave a bit of space for Jamie to come on. Nice to see you, K-Mac. Yeah.
Up the Reds. 3-1.
Yeah, good man.
There we go. Thank you, George.
Man.
Take care, George.
Sorry to rush, Frank. I've just had the call from the better half.
Thank you so much, George. And I'll see you there hopefully Thursday.
Okay, mate.
Take care,
bro.
See you later.
Need to bring the subs on now.
Right, bring the subs
You need to
on.
bring the subs on. And everyone just like douche.
We have a troll, and I think he's good this time. Ancunian block there, but play. I can't lie. I like the kid. And there's our Jamie. There's the man, look. There he is. Jamie.
Oh my God.
Hi, Jay.
Hey, guys. You all right?
Yeah, obviously murder here. Hey, listen, Jamie, I don't know whether you've been listening, but I've been asking everybody. Someone put up a comment and said, who would be our best number 10? And, they were picking them, by the way. Who would you say? And some of the names, let me try and get the names up for you, to give you some idea. They mentioned McAllister. They mentioned, let's see. Oh, yeah. No, that's not. I can't get it.
The Szoboszlai, Jones, Gravenberch.
Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, it was Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, Jones, McAllister, Carvalho. That was the list.
None of them.
Who was you pick?
None of them. My number 10 would be Mohamed Salah.
Really?
Yeah. I think that'd be his perfect position when his pace starts to go a little bit, because he's a creative footballer.
That's incredible. That no one even mentions him. Not even the comment mentioned him, if you know what I mean, because he put the names up, which is
I think once Salah's pace
surprising to
starts
say
to
the
go,
least.
yeah, I think when Salah's pace starts to go a little bit, because he's an all-round creative footballer, and you give him that freedom to just have that freedom as a 10, he can be a floating 10, where he just has the freedom to go around all the pitch and influence the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be perfect to it.
Well, I asked as well. If you like, I asked as well. Out of all the injured players, I don't know whether you've heard, but the other fella, Allison, he's out till the end of March. Right, he's out till the end of March. That's 7 weeks. That no, it's not. It's 6 weeks. 6 weeks. Okay, so he's out till the end of March. Out of all the players that are injured now, who's going to be missed most? In your to you, who will you miss most?
Diego Jota.
Yeah. People said, to be honest, I say Jota as well, because we've got a good lad there and young Kelleher. You know, people were saying Allison, but I think Kelleher can hold his own. I really do, especially after the Brentford game. I think he can hold his own. Not only that, but Jota, he's only on, I know this may sound daft, but he's only our natural goal scorer. He is, you know. He's only our natural goal scorer, Jamie. And I think that he'll be missed more, especially by me. Because I was sick when he said that he's going to be out for at least 2 months.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if we see Jota again this season, personally.
Really? So you think he won't play again at all? No?
No, I don't think Jota will play again this season. You know, if he's what we in, we're almost in March now. What we're mid-February? Is it the 20th of February? So we're not far from March now. End up so through whole March, he'll probably injured through the whole of April, maybe. With the way Klopp's talking, so I don't I don't see him.
Yeah, because even tomorrow's game, Jamie, you know, we discussed about some players tomorrow, and what Klopp said about mentioning these young players, like, you know, he's talking about tomorrow, and I think that he will play some young lads, the likes of that Kumas, for example. Bobby Clark might even get a game. McConnell might even get a game. I just don't know. I just don't know with Jürgen whether he'll keep Mo on the bench, whether he'll keep Darwin on the bench. You just don't know about tomorrow, because I think the injury list is that powerful to Klopp himself, because you could see he was physically angered. He really was. He was physically angered when I was watching him today. Go ahead.
See, yeah, I might be the only one. I'm not sure, but I think the Luton game on Wednesday is more important than the cup final on Sunday.
Yeah,
and my reasoning for that is that at this moment in time, Liverpool, Man City, and Arsenal have all played the same amount of games, and Liverpool are on top of the league, and Liverpool have the points advantage. Liverpool have to match Arsenal and Man City's results till the end of the season, and they'll be Premier League champions. Liverpool, if they lost on Wednesday to Luton at home, say, or dropped points and it's a draw, and we go into that cup final in the weekend, Man City will probably be top of the Premier League by the time we play our next Premier League game. And then you're chasing this Man City team, which is, as we all know, almost impossible. And this Arsenal team are better than a lot of people give it credit for. So for that reason, I think the Luton game is massive for Liverpool. If they win that game, it's a 4-point gap between us and City. It's a 5-point gap between us and Arsenal till they play again. And you've got to keep the momentum. You've got to keep the pressure on the other two teams. Look, we know it's like chasing Man City to a Premier League, that you have to be almost bloody perfect. You know, Arsenal are incredible form right now. You know, scoring 4 goals, 5 goals, 6 goals. They're in amazing form. They beat us, but they're still 2 points behind. And that's the important thing here. Points.
And they've been very lucky though, Jamie, haven't they? Because they haven't suffered any injuries.
No, they've only got Partey and injured at the moment, I think, and they've had their right back out all season. But I don't think he's been integral to them anyway, because
sorely missed,
Ben White was their right back last season, so he's just playing again anyway. So I don't think that he's been an integral miss. Partey's probably been an integral miss, but apart from that, I just think the Luton game's huge. I just think you win that game, you put the pressure back on them, you know, and then they got to win again. And it's like, eventually you get sick and tired of it. Oh, bloody hell, we won again, but we're still 2 points behind Liverpool. And you'll go in the next week and they win again, and like, oh, we're still 2 points behind Liverpool. And that momentum carries on. And it's a sickener for the teams chasing. So, yeah, I think it's very important for Liverpool to do a job against Luton and smash the crap out of them personally.
Okay, let's talk about some these comments. And John, there's only a couple here. Big up, folks. Jamie Phillips has great football knowledge, by the way. Allison, what a sickener, he says. Okay. The Mancunian Blue. Respect goes out to Jota, great player, and hope he makes a quick recovery. As a rival, I'm a bit relieved he's not playing against us, because he would have caused us so much problems. And that's coming from a City fan.
Mm.
So, you know, lots of respect to you, fella, really. And Arsenal scare me, says Drunk Vigo. And that's what you said, haven't you there, Jamie, more or less. What do you think, JK? Do you think that, you know, what Jamie said about, we never really mentioned Arsenal, did we? We never really mentioned
I think Arsenal, they don't really scare me. I think their fans are just going to ruin it for them, like I said earlier. It's just the energy of the club. For me, they don't deserve nothing in that way. Where Man City a bit more professional, I would say. So for me, I'm not really scared of Arsenal, because I think if they lose their next game, their Arsenal fans will be on the guy's back, like they were a few months ago. You know, like even a month ago they were on his back, but they've won 3 games in a row, and it sort of changed the picture for them. And you know, the modern day fans have start just jumping on the hype train. You know, so I'm not really bothered about Arsenal personally.
Okay.
Now I feel they're going to lose a couple of games, mate. Or more, well,
you
at least
got to play each other, remember. You all have to play each other. If we beat Manchester City, I mean this, if we beat City, you know, there's our Mancunian there, lads, you know, the Mancunian Blue. If we beat them, I'm going to ask this Mancunian Blue, by the way, you know, listen, Mancunian Blue, I'm sorry, I'll call you Blue. Listen, Blue. If Liverpool beat you lot at Anfield when we play you in a few weeks' time, what would your feeling be about retaining the title? Just let me know. And I'll go to Brian. Are you still there, Brian? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here, man. Yeah, that one for me, like it's the cup final, the next league game thing. You know, it's got to be it's the next game up is the most important one, of course, like every time. And then you take what's coming and you move on to the next one. But ideally, like we've got Luton, then we've got Forest, and then we've got City. So you got to get like 6 points from Luton and Forest, and then get to that City game. And if we can beat them, then that'll be a pivotal game. But if we go there with like 2 games where we drop points, that's a whole other story. And then we've got a cup final in the middle of it, and we got to go and deal with that. So that's your that's your little side job for the day. You know, the league is the main thing that you do. You get those points in the bag, and then, by the way, you've got to go and show up on a Saturday afternoon and just go and win a cup final. And I think we can do that. I think we can put the two in different boxes, and just whoever it is, like it might be just a little case of, say, if Gomez starts against Luton, we know Bradley's starting against Chelsea, or vice versa. But other than that, you just go with what we have because there's very little on the bench. So it's not like we have, oh, will we play Jota? Will we play Salah? Will we do this? I think the team is kind of pretty much picking itself at this stage. So it's not like, who do we drop? Who do we rest? I mean, kids, we're really close to, like you said, a McConnell or a Clark having to start one of these games. So, I think we're kind of at like the final, we're not scraping the barrel, don't call it that. But this team is pretty much picking itself first 11-wise at the moment. So they're all going to have to go right up to that City game, and hopefully one of these boys, it's not going to be Jota, it's probably not going to be Alisson, but hopefully Nunez, Salah, maybe Jones are fit and back ready by the City game. But just take them as they come at the moment. But that, it just and the game on Saturday, just take it as a one-off. Go out and play that game on its own. Forget about the league. It's 90 minutes. Go out and play that game on its own. Run off adrenaline.
Okay, I'll go to the 12th then, straight over to you, JB, because I want you to answer this here. What do you think about tomorrow, 12th? Do you reckon that, as Jamie said, tomorrow is more or less more important than the cup final on Sunday?
Nope, I do not. I actually think that every game's important. And I also think that you go with that mentality of saying every game's important. You go with that next game mentality, as Brian mentioned. So that concept of saying, oh, well, let's just write off the FA Cup or let's write off the League Cup. One, there's no assurance that we win anything. There's no assurance that we win the league. There's no assurance that we win the League Cup. There's no assurance we win the FA Cup. There's no assurance we win the Europa. So you have to go into every game thinking next game is the most important game, period. Not 3 games down, not 4 games down. The next game is always the most important. And I think that, like, sometimes, I mentioned, I heard the comment about Arsenal. Look, let's get real. Arsenal has played Crystal Palace. They played Forest. They beat us, which was a big game for them to beat us. But then they played West Ham and Burnley. It's not like they've played superior, incredible talent or top of the league talent or something in those last 5 games, apart from us. So I get that Arsenal is definitely running onto some form right now, and that's all well and good. But right now, I just personally think that when it comes to our mindsets, don't worry about what Arsenal's doing. Don't worry about what Manchester City's doing. All we have to do is worry about the next game in line for us. And as long as we win that next game, we'll be fine. Once we win it, I don't want to sound like Henderson, but that's exactly what you heard all the time from every interview, post-interview, when it was at the end of the game. Let's just worry about the next game. That's all we care. That's all I'm concerned about. So Luton's our next game. Get that win. When Chelsea reaches Chelsea, that becomes our biggest concern. Is Chelsea.
Well, okay. Well, I asked, our Mancunian friend, what if Liverpool beats, City at Anfield in a couple of weeks' time, few weeks' time, and he gave me this answer. And I want to go straight to you, Jamie. You beat us, you will go the whole way. I have no doubt about that. What do you think of that comment coming from a Mancunian Blue?
My only thing that concerns Liverpool at the moment is the injuries. That's all it is, because the way we play is so intense that we can't afford another 1 or 2 major players in this first team. Look, if you look at the players out, and look at the first teams Liverpool can still put out, it's still an exceptional. So if I go for a team at the moment, so say the team that could play tomorrow, possibly you could have Kelleher, Connor Bradley, Kanate, Van Dijk, Robbo, and a midfield of Endo, McAllister, Gravenberch, and then a forward line of maybe Salah, Gakpo, and Luis Diaz. That's still as good as an 11 you get in the league with all them injuries. So the squad depth at Liverpool is actually very good, no matter what a lot of negative Nancy's will say. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word, but I said it. And you know,
you call them
a lot of people say the squad depth ain't good, but the squad depth's never going to be good when you got about 57 players out injured. You know what I mean? That's the case. But that 11 you put out still was very good. And you know, if Arsenal had the amount of players out that we got right now, Arsenal wouldn't be in the top 4, in my opinion. They would struggle. You know, the players that we got out of squad are not squad players, the first team footballers, and they would struggle. So it shows the squad depth Liverpool got for me. The one thing I will say for Liverpool, in a weird way, because we've only got a select few players, it might actually put a harmony in the squad, because then players, that 11 is probably going to play on a more regular basis with a bit of rotation in between. So Klopp's got no choice but to play them players, because look, he wants to end his Liverpool career in style, so he's going to try and win everything that's available. So he's going to play that best 11 he possibly can, and I think that could help Liverpool in a way, because if anything, this Liverpool team are better when they play regularly together, constantly, instead of having breaks and rotation. So, yeah. And I agree with what 12th man said as well, by the way. You've got to take one game at a time. You know, only the next important game is the next game. So you definitely do. It's just, if I look at it, I just feel for once, Liverpool have actually got the Premier League in their own hands, in their own destiny at the moment, as everyone's played the same amount of points and Liverpool are actually top of the league. Usually it's the case, City have about 3 games in hand. That's usually what the case is, you know, but this time everyone's played the same amount of games and Liverpool are on top. That's why I'm just saying it may be a little bit different this time round, but, you know, I want to win every trophy, obviously, but I understand what everyone's saying.
Yeah, well, the injuries, I think, have put a stop to the quadruple, to be honest. But what I go along with is that Liverpool, you know, in the last couple of years, are the only team that's been going after the quadruple. Think about that for a minute. I think that's brilliant. Not only that, but the way, look, we've got, listen to this. I want to ask you something, right? I want you to carry on, then I'm going over to the 12th, then I'm going to Brian, then I'm going to Lee, and then I'm going to the JK. Okay. The best comment I seen yesterday was even Klopp had pulled his hamstring.
That was funny. I'll admit that was funny.
I thought that's hilarious, that. But my question is, you know, when we go out and start playing tomorrow night, right? You know, I don't like.
I got breaking news, by the way.
Go on.
Paul Joyce has just put out that Klopp has confirmed that Darwin Núñez and Mo Salah are fitness doubts.
Jesus, that doesn't leave us much.
Klopp confirms Darwin Núñez and Mo Salah are fitness concerns, and both forwards are serious doubts of the Premier League game at home to Luton, and will have to be continually assessed in the build-up to Sunday's Carabao Cup final against Chelsea.
Well, we need one of them fit for Luton, because we've only got Diaz and Gakpo, haven't we?
Who was you put? All right, Jamie. Who was you put then as your front 3?
Elliot on the right will have to be now. Gakpo and Luis Diaz. That's all you got.
All right then. And I'm going to go to yours all, by the way. Who would you put in midfield? Jamie?
Midfield has to be Endo, Gravenberch and McAllister. I don't think there's any other.
And that was my question, Jamie. Do you think that Gravenberch will now grab his opportunity, just like young Bradley did when Krem was injured and he came in? He grabbed the opportunity. So do you think it's up to Gravenberch now to grab his opportunity?
Yeah, I think I saw comments he made today about that as well, and apparently, like I said it in the Brentford game, I thought he played really well when he came on against Brentford, and it was like the best I've seen him in a long time. And I think that reason is that sees a lot of players in his position are out injured now. Got a cup final on Sunday, and I think he sees that he's going to play quite a few games now for quite a lot of the season. So he's gained his interest a bit, and gave him a bit of a confidence boost that he probably didn't think he was going to get for the rest of the season. So yeah, great. I think Graham Birch will play a lot now, and I think we're seeing grow into his own as well. I've said it for a while. Graham Birch is a talented footballer. He's just not got that match fitness properly yet and match tempo, and he just needs to find his way in the team. And unfortunately for people being injured, but this could be him finding his way into the team and making a player of himself, because we all can agree there's definitely a talent there. No doubt about it.
What about you, Brian?
On Gravenberch?
Yeah. Do you think he should grasp his opportunity?
Yeah, I like Gravenberch as one of those guys. There's those lads that they always look better off the bench. And there's always, I think Gravenberch is the opposite. I don't think he's great when he comes off the bench. And this is what happens all the time in football. It's one in, one out. Someone gets injured, somebody gets to take their chance. He was a Klopp player, Klopp chased him for 2 years, wanted to bring him in. I think he has the ability to do it, and I think he likes to get into the game from the start. Maybe he's a bit of a slow starter. He's not great to bring on with 70 minutes. And he's probably someone we all thought would start a lot of games. Then we have this McAllister and Szoboszlai, so okay, there's it no place there. Jones steps up out of nowhere. Jones becomes one of the best players at the club, most important midfielder in most people's eyes, some people's eyes, whatever. And now you've got two people in front of you. So this is what, Bradley, this is what always happens. A player gets out injured, that's your chance. It's there for you. Go and take it. So it's up to him. I think he has it in him. I like him. I think he has all the ability, all the technique. So, but there's a lot on him. Yeah, there's a lot on him though, Frank. It's right, you're going to play tomorrow and you're going to play the cup, because there's no one behind you. So it's the same with Gakpo. Gakpo's going to have to play all the minutes now. It's not like there's chances to move him in and out. So yeah, I expect him to take the chance. If you're asking me that, I expect him to step up, because he seems like one of those kids. He needs responsibility handed to him. Okay, I'm
going to the 12th man, but let me read out. I see this fella on yours, Jamie. Honesty Hortensia. That's a great name. Honesty. And he says, Ryan Gravenberch, and he quotes what he said. Unfortunately, Curtis is now injured, and hopefully he will be back as soon as possible. But now, for me, I have the chance again to show myself and to show my qualities. Unquote.
That's the attitude.
I think that's brilliant.
Frank, I've got to run because I've got to do my own.
Are you doing a show? Are you doing a show tonight?
Yeah. So I've got to run now.
What time are you doing it?
A minute ago.
I'll jump on after this. Okay, I'll come on and do a few comments and call you for everything.
All right, guys. Enjoy. Talk to you later.
See you later.
And 12th man, you've got to answer that, about Ryan Gravenberch, because you think that hopefully, he can grasp this opportunity of what Honesty said.
Yeah, I think it's a great comment. I think if anything, I like that kind of mentality, in that it's very similar to what we heard Kwanzaa say when Matip got hurt. It's not about the fact that the injury, of course you wish the best for the player, you wish the best for your teammate. You don't want to see a teammate get injured. However, circumstances are the circumstances, and the team needs you now. And if you're going to step up, it's that I've spoken about it with Brian on my own channel, and JK as well. The next man up mentality has to be relevant and has to be very, very, ingrained in you to know that opportunities. I don't want to sound like Eminem, but opportunities come once in a lifetime, and this is that opportunity. And I'm glad to hear that Gravenberch is cognitive of that fact and is prepared and ready to take on the size, the gratitude, the absolute size of taking on that mantle. So it's major.
But it's the gravity of it, isn't it? Really, let's be honest. It's the gravity of what he's about to do or he can do. And as Brian said as well, he has got the attributes to fulfill his potential, but it's got to be now. As people say, he's got to big up and get in there. And that's me. That I'm saying that he has to.
Yeah.
And what do you think, Lee? Do you think that he's got the chance?
Yeah, it looked like his orders were a little bit more specific against Brentford. To do certain things and not to do others. Do you know what I'm saying? That they've been coaching him in the couple of games where he hasn't been playing and saying, look, we need you to do these things a little bit more, just a little bit more than what you were doing. And I'm hoping that this is like a watershed thing. The performance we've just seen can be moving on. I mean, we all say that as fans. Oh yeah, this could be but hopefully this could be the start of something for Gravenberch. It's not going to be. We're not going to see his best form. We've all said that till next season, but he can definitely do stuff still this season. Like he's definitely got enough in the tank to fill in.
If you look at Gravenberch and you look at the likes of Gapco, they're two big 6 foot old fellas.
Yeah, big boys.
And they can show their strength, if you know what I mean. You've only got to look at Kanate and the other fella there, Virgil. Just imagine them for a corner or a free kick. I mean, into the opposing area. They should be reaching them headers. Look at the header that Gapco gave for Mo to run onto and score that fantastic goal. He just outjumped it. He's got the potential. Let's hope that he can do it. And I'm going to go to you, Brian. Okay. I want you to give, to the best of your ability, the team you'd like to see tomorrow night.
Well, Quiveen in goal, obviously. I go with Robbo at left back, BBD and Kanate. Then what do you go? This is really the only issue in this team is what do we do? So I'll go with Bradley at right back. I'll go with McAllister, Gravenberch, and Endo in the midfield. I think that kind of picked itself. And I was just reading there after what Jamie was saying, is that Núñez is expected to be fit for tomorrow. So he's not ruled out. So if he's fit, it'll be Diaz, Núñez, and then Gakpo in some way. Maybe Gakpo on the left and Diaz on the right. But if Núñez is out, then Diaz on the left, Gakpo up front, and Elliott on the right.
Oh, okay. What about you, 12? What's your team? Besides Kelleher, he's in goal.
Right. I would go with pretty much the exact same lineup that Brian just went with for the most part. I was going to actually, though, it'd be interesting. I mean, this is me thinking outside the box. It's also me recognizing something Klopp did earlier in the year. But I really wouldn't mind seeing Elliott as right midfielder and possibly putting Gravenberch at the right wing. He's done it before. In a Europa game, he subbed Gravenberch in for Mo Salah. He played right wing for us in that game. I think you would utilize the pace of Gravenberch. He's definitely faster than Elliott. And then you could also, and Elliott does have command of both the midfield and the right wing, but more so I like Elliott in the midfield position more so than on the right wing position. And you could possibly get Gravenberch a little bit more suited towards trying to give the opposition's back line something to worry about with his pace and with his dribbling ability. But that's just an outside take of looking at it.
Okay, Lee. Without without the goalkeeper, who's your back four be? I'll tell you who I'd put in. More or less. I'd play Kwanzaa. I really would, because Canete, I want to save him for that final, and I think Kwanzaa is a great deputy. I really do. I think he's a safe lad. That lad. I think
it's
he's
a
good.
solid shout.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's a solid shout. Yeah, I'd have no problem with that at all.
Yeah, well, that's it. You see, Bradley. He should play tomorrow night. He's our right back forever. That's it. Whether Trent is fit or not, he's our right back. So I'll just play Trent. I'll play Virgil. I'll play Kwanzaa, and I'll play. Do you know what? I think Klopp might just go along with Joe Gomez at left back, or even Samikas. I think he'll try and keep Robbo for Sunday. To be honest, that's what I think. And then, in the midfield, I just picked the midfield that you picked there. And the player he has picked, to be honest. And the forward line, if he keeps, I was told that Nunes was suffering from fatigue and cramps. He's not injured. That's all. So I think he'll be on the bench, and I think he'll be on the bench with Salah as well, just in case something, we need them to come on. And I think they will come on. That's tomorrow night. So Gapco will be playing for me up front. But as you said, Diaz, and I don't know. I really don't know. I just don't know. I really don't. To put Diaz on the left and Elliott on the right. I don't like Elliott on the right, to be honest. I like him coming off the bench in midfield. But, I think that's the only option we have tomorrow, to be honest. The forward. So you, Lee, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Back four. Yeah, at the back four against Luton. Well, I want Canate and Van Dijk because Luton are quite big and imposing, like they're dangerous on set plays and that. And Kwanzaa hasn't proved to be very good in the air so far. He's still getting that part of his game together. Tsimikas is a good shout. Yeah, I could see him maybe playing because he hasn't had a game for a while and he's probably ready maybe to play now. And then between Joe and Bradley at right back, yeah, I'd probably go Bradley, especially if one of Salah and Nunes is missing. Then we're going to need all the attacking threat we can get, and Bradley does give us a goal threat, doesn't he?
Okay, go ahead. And what about your midfield? Just go through your midfield quickly because I want to get through these and let the lads just talk about them, and then I'm finishing.
Yeah, just Enzo, Mack, and Gravenberch.
Yeah, I think that's about it. And I see Enzo for me, he's been absolutely brilliant the last few games. And don't forget, he's just come back from the Asian Games. And he has all that travelling and everything else. Well, the first half against, who was it? Was it? Jesus, it wasn't Burnley, was it? Was it Burnley? Yeah, it was Burnley when that was his first game back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And first half, he wasn't so much, but in the second half, he was absolutely brilliant. Brilliant against Brentford as well. So, and what about your forward line?
Well, we haven't got much, have we? But if Salah's fit, I'd go Salah. And if Nunes is fit, I'd go Nunes as well.
Well, that's it. But just in case, Both of them are on the bench. Who would you start with? Just in case.
It's got to be, it's Elliott, that isn't it, on the right, and Gakpo central and Diaz left.
Okay. Now, before I go into these final few comments, and then you can discuss them, starting with Brian. Lee and JK, you there?
Yeah, what's up, bro?
Okay, listen, I'm doing a film and TV review on Thursday morning, 10:30. Okay.
Sounds.
It's okay. That's good. I do a film, 12th Man and Brian, right? Film and TV review, and our friend Lee, it comes out with all these Lebanese films. Oh, you want to see this Lebanese film? It's great, you know.
I went for a rubbish one this week. Like, I was half falling asleep this week. I've been up since we did our since we did the football podcast, and I've been up all night, like just sitting around, pissing around, typing stuff, and I was still awake in the morning. I was half falling asleep. In the last half hour, I was like, I looked back at it on the and I was knackered.
I'm sorry I mentioned that. I'm sorry I mentioned about this bloody Lebanese film.
Yeah, it was my own bloody fault for staying up all night. Like you do sometimes. I'm just too old to do it.
See, carries on. That water's something in that water, you know. We're all going to go up where we live and drink loads of that water. Anyway, Justin F. Ansi, what a name. Justin F. Ansi. Not Dustin Hoffman. Might be his auntie, mightn't it? Anyway, Diaz can play a striker, right? Drunk says, I trust Quanso, bro. Yeah, I think we can all trust Quanso. Ian McKay needs a boss atmosphere. This is very important for the boys. We need a boss atmosphere tomorrow night, lads. Everyone needs to play a part. Night game under the famous Anfield lights. Let's make it a cauldron of noise and roar the red men onto 3 points. I think that's a cracking comment. And do you know what, lads? And I don't know whether you'd agree with me here, but the European nights are so special. I always remember Kyle Walker. I think we beat them 3-0. Yeah, we beat them 3-0 in the Champions League match. And he said, now this is Kyle Walker, England's international, playing for the greatest team in Europe, you know, that Man City. And he turned around, he said, the Anfield roar frightened me as soon as I walked on the pitch. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you for why. There's a different atmosphere in European games. And do you know what it is? It's Scousers can get tickets. Because as you know, you get people from all over the bloody globe coming over, especially Scouts. I'm not against their away for, honestly, nothing against them. I embrace them. But, you know, they can't afford to come over during a midweek game. So the tickets are up for the availability, you know, and it's full of Scousers. And that's why you get a totally different atmosphere. Anyway, I'll just go through these boys. And as I said, he says that as Ian McKay, we need a boss atmosphere. Drunk says, I hope Mario will be singing in the Cop tomorrow. Yeah, Mario, yeah. He's a good lad, as Mario, but I'll have to go and meet him at Jurgen's because he keeps saying him and Alex. Enzo gives me Shunsuit. Vibes. Says, God, what when he's near
that build really blew up in Die Hard.
What?
No, what does it say?
Oh, yes, you're right. Yes.
No, Nakatomi.
Yes.
Nakatomi, wasn't it? I knew that all along. It's just me playing
okay. The prophecies foretold about Enzo, says Drunk Beagle. And Lee is looking more scared than usual. Oh,
I'm looking a bit ashen. I need to buy a sunbed to put some colour in my cheeks or something, or buy some fake tan or something.
yeah, I was just going to say that fake tan will be ideal for you. You're all right. His
Don't you
face
sell
has been.
sunbeds anymore? Do they still exist?
Lee, that's exactly what I was going to say, man. I was watching some like old, basically, I was watching old episodes of Crime Watch on YouTube last night, and one of the things, this girl went round to her friend's house to use the sunbed, and I was like, who the hell had sunbeds in their houses, man? Can you imagine these days plugging a sunbed into the price of electricity? Like an entire sunbed plugged into your living room socket, like, and people come around to use it. What kind of world was that in the 80s? People had sunbeds in their fucking houses, man. It's oh man. Now you just go down to some place and they spray you in the face with a load of wet brown sauce or whatever it is. Oh man, that was insane. Like a sunbed in your house. And do you remember that story? The classic story that Gaza joined Lazio or he joined Tottenham because it's over Man United because Alan Sugar rang up and said he'd buy his sister a sunbed. Do you remember that, Frank? Do you remember that story?
Look at that story there.
That swung the transfer.
Club Vigo says it'll cost more than Gordon Ramsay burger in Vegas.
Oh, God. You got to ask 12 man about those Ramsay burgers in Vegas. He knows all about it.
So listen, lads, I've got to finish here. So I'm going to go to you, JK. I'm going to go to you. Then I'm going to go to Lee. Then I'm going to go to Brian. Then I'm going to finish off with our 12th man. Right. About the atmosphere tomorrow night, right? The atmosphere. Do you think that, we should be roaring them on? Also, I want your prediction, JK.
For me, tomorrow, has to be the Liverpool 12th man day because we are lacking players. We've got injuries, we've got everything just going sort of downhill. So tomorrow the fans have to really step up because, I heard You Never Walk Alone a few games ago. At the end of the game, we were winning. We won the game, actually. But the tone of the You'll Never Walk Alone was, for me, embarrassing. It's like not everyone joined in. And I remember in the old days, it was mayhem when that song came on. People were singing it with passion. And I think the modern day fans have got no passion in that way. It's like that song, you're winning a game. And it's like normal that when Liverpool win, you sing You'll Never Walk Alone at the end. And that's when you start partying. That's gone from the game. And that's, for me, the Anfield crowd. So tomorrow they have to step up big time because it's like Luton, a tricky side. You don't know what they're going to come with. So tomorrow but I think we will win the game tomorrow. It will be like 2-0, 3-0, something like that. I need a clean sheet tomorrow as well, going into the final. We haven't had a clean sheet in a while, so I think Carlyle needs a clean sheet tomorrow.
I'll give Quahim, a bit of a boost as well because he went mad when he let that goal in. Well, he never let it in. It just went in. It wasn't his fault at all. He made a fantastic save and was unlucky with the rebounds, if you like. Anyway, or the follow through. So 2 or 3-0. Okay, Lee, about the crowd and your predictive score.
I'll go for the 2-0 for this game. I think we got a 2-0.
Okay. And do you think the crowd should be up for it as well instead of just?
They've got to be. Yeah, they've got to be for this. We need them, don't we? With players missing, and it's casting a shadow on things. The last couple of days has been rough, hasn't it? It's been an interesting couple of days in many ways. A few things in the last couple of days have come out, but it's put a negative shadow over things, hasn't it?
Of course it has, because there was already players out.
Well, look, I could have dealt with Jota being 2 months if Jonesy was only a week and Ali was only a week or two. But for them to be out longer as well, it's a killer blow. Look, not a killer blow, but it's a
You know what, mate? I'll tell you the one made up where he's not injured. Virgil and Canetta.
God for them.
That's we missed them when Virgil was out that season, remember? Okay. Right,
I love them comments, Frank. You know, when people write, "Oh, imagine if Virgil gets injured now." It's like, come on, why are you even writing that? You
know? Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
That's why I mentioned it. I'm being honest. What about you, Brian? You know, a predictive scores. Do you think that the crowd should be right there behind us?
Well, I'm with you, Frank, and everything you said is right about the midweek games and why the atmosphere is different. That's like what I'm raised up on. Back, you know, in the 90s, watching football, you couldn't watch league football on TV. Games weren't on TV. You know, I know Liverpool from watching basically Match of the Day, FA Cup that they showed on, and European games. You rarely saw a league game. So European nights at Anfield are why I love Liverpool. That's what it's all about. Those midweek night games. So yeah, it's a league game, but that's when the atmosphere is always special. And unfortunately, I'm with JK. Even the best ones now, it's not like it used to be. Because even like when it's full now, and the newer kind of people that are there, they're not as noisy. Like I think the last time it went nuts, properly nuts, was Chelsea versus Liverpool, Benitez versus Mourinho in the Champions League, Olympiacos.
Yeah,
and that's the loudest I've ever seen Anfield. Even just watching on TV, the TV was shaking. I don't think we've reached that peak yet.
I'll tell you what, Brian. Brian, we were talking about the great. You know, a few weeks ago, we were talking about the greatest atmosphere known at Anfield, and and do you know what it was for us? You know, we're like the older fellas. I'll never forget it. And it was when David Fairclough put the pads in against San Etienne in 77.
I wasn't even born. I wasn't far off. I wasn't born yet, but I've even on TV, yeah.
It was incredible. And I'll tell you another one that and no one ever mentions this game. Nobody. And you were well born, and so was our 12th man as well. And so was Lee. And I'll tell you what it was. We were going out at the Champions League quarter-final versus Arsenal, Arsene Wenger's team, right? And Steven Gerrard, right? Ryan Babel, think about it. And 6 minutes to go, it was 2-2. 2-2.
As a bio, struck, hadn't he? And that was going to be
incredible. It was 2-2, and it was like 5 minutes to go. And Steven Gerrard got a penalty. Well, it was Ryan Babel who got a penalty when Colo Torre pulled down Ryan Babel's penalty. The referee got a penalty. Steven Gerrard, think about it. 5 minutes to go. And he put it on the spot in front of the cop. My legs were jelly. I was gone. I was gone. And he put it away. And then the biggest roar of the night was unbelievable because they were coming back, obviously. And our nerves were all like this. And the next, they had a free kick. And I always remember Fabregas picking the ball up and running about 10 to 15 yards down the line to take it, you know, nearly. And we were all thinking, right, but he put it over and Jake Count got it. And he just lobbed it forward. And Ryan Babel was just there on his own and he ran with it. And Fabregas was running after him because he just taken the free kick. And he ran it and he was grabbing him. And he just put it in the corner. That was an unbelievable atmosphere because
that's a bit of a forgotten game, Frank. That's definitely 100% a bit of a forgotten game that we played Arsenal in a game like that.
It's and no one ever met. I always mention it. That's why I did, Brian. That's why I did.
Yeah.
Okay. So What's your score for tomorrow night before I go
on? 4-1 Liverpool.
4-1. Okay, that'll do me. Our 12th man has been always patient, you know. This man, he's always patient. So go ahead about the crowd tomorrow night, 12th, and also your predictive score, please.
Well, I can say this much. Look, if you can't find yourself to, if you as a member of the crowd, if you can't find yourself amped up or hyped up or ready and anxious to be a part of the Anfield roar, as you put it, then I don't think that you don't need to be there, considering that there's so many different levels of this that are going to make every Anfield, every moment of Anfield mean that much more. I mean, Klopp leaving alone is the sure fact of why, this is the last opportunity you might get to see this individual coach and the atmosphere and the elements that he brings to the Klopp, excuse me. And the sheer fact that every game is important for us. Again, I can't say this enough, is that every game is important. So any opportunity that we have to share these last moments with our beloved Kaiser, and any moments that we have to really root on our team, it's our duty. So as the 12th man out there at Anfield, I would hope to think that they're going to take that duty seriously and root these boys on to some real glory, because it's something that they undoubtedly will do if they have that backing. So, and my score prediction is I'm going to go with 3-1 Liverpool.
Excellent. So that's a win for us all around. I'm going to go for 3-0. That's what I'm going for. And
He's scoring, Frank, the tea lady. Up front. He's coming to that, man. He's coming to that.
I just think, I really do. I think young Kelleher will keep a clean sheet, to be honest. I really do. I think it. How come he never gets injured? If you know what I mean.
Get a couple. JK, Gakpo will get a couple tonight or tomorrow night. Yeah. Gakpo will get.
I think we'll get one from a what you call it, a set piece, either a corner or a free kick. And I think the big Virgie with the bar against Brentford, I think he'll get one. So my prediction is 3-0. I've got to thank you, boys. I really have. So if you're available with this lot, the likes of JK and Lee and me moaning at every time, I'd love to see you on Thursday if you're free. Just the link will be there for you. Is that okay?
Sure.
Cheers,
absolutely.
Thank you so much. And let's hope that we'll be talking, a lot differently as well.
Yeah.
You never know about the injuries, coming down. You never know who's coming back. And also we'll be talking about Sunday. Okay.
Let's only be talking about one of us got the prediction right. Whichever one of us got the score prediction right. Let's hope about that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And all for you out there, Jamie Phillips, the great man, love him. And K-Mac, he's a great fella. And they're the podcast that you can get onto. Okay.
Yeah, and I put 12th man's link in the chat as well.
Oh, have
Thank
you?
you.
Okay.
Just subscribe to him, man.
Great night, lads. And see Ian McKay. Lovely.
Nice one, JK.
Now there's a lad there, Freedom Journey. I've never, he should have it. That's nice. And he just says, thanks, lads. Enjoy the stream. Thank you so much, Freedom. And if you're having, any of you are still out there, you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Get the algorithm out there. And everybody will be happy. It's a big good night to my great guest, Lee Carlson, Brian, the 12th man, J.K. Kismet, and George Scott, the lost Shankly boy. to him, and also K-Mac and the great Jamie Phillips. Thank you so much, lads. Thank you so much, all the wonderful comments that was coming through by the viewers that was looking in. Great show, Frank. You'll never walk alone, says TW. And Mark Simons all the way from sunny Gibraltar. And I keep saying to him, give Gibraltar back to the Spanish.
Give it back.
Absolutely. So anyway, boys, thank you so much. I love yous, and I'll see yous on Thursday.
Nice one, bro.
That's
Frank,
for our football show. What?
Sends a link for the films on Thursday morning. I've got me 2 footy ones. Sends a link for Thursday morning, yeah.
Yeah, of course. No, well, Jason does that, doesn't he? I don't do anything. I'm useless. So the links will be sent out for you and JK. And Arthur Schofield says, good night, fellas. 2-0, the Young Guns. And there's a gold star. How about that? And it's a big thank you as well for our Mancunian Blue. He was very nice, by the way.
It was a nice appearance from a Blue. It's good to see someone. He was making constructive comments there, which is what we like.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sorry there. How'd you remove the wrong one? So listen, lads, thank you so much. I really appreciate everything. See you all on Thursday, I hope. Yes. And let's talk some more football. Thank you so much. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, 12th man. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, JK. Thank you, Chat. I love you all. Thank you. And as our Italians say, or the old granddad used to say, ci vediamo. Franco, ci vediamo. Thank you.